And we're live.
We are back again, everybody. It is PM in the PM. That's right, Pong and Mav in the PM. After a week, a rare week off for the entire Fun Speculation family. Actually, last week, didn't know it was going to turn into that, but that's exactly what it turned into. But listen up, we are back, and you are with two of the most Starfield addicted people you will ever meet in one show. I can almost guarantee you that fact right now. But we've got some stuff to talk about. Of course, we're going to talk a little Starfield, but we got some other things. Nintendo and Sony decided to show up to the party today and had a couple, a direct and a state of play. We're obviously going to talk about that because there was actually some very cool things announced coming everywhere. In fact, along with some other obviously first party stuff that we'll get into. But I hope you all have been absolutely having a fantastic time. I know most of you have been probably traveling the stars like me and Mav, and I hope that's going well for you. But whatever you have been enjoying, I hope you had a hell of a past couple of weeks. And Mav and I are here to entertain you. So buckle up, get ready. Let's get the show started. And I got to get to my co-host, the man on a mission. Well, we're all on missions right now. Let's be real about this. But the man on a mission to get the Fun Speculation Network worldwide. 3 billion plus people. That's right, folks.
Going to the cloud.
The one and only. That's right, through the cloud. The one and only Fun Speculation, a.k.a. Mav. How the hell you been, brother? And, hey, before you say anything, folks, if my camera is flickering through YouTube, I apologize. I changed nothing. And all of a sudden, I jumped in here with Mav. I've tried to restart. I've reset the camera. If there's a little flicker there, I apologize. I'm going to try to fix it here in the next couple of days. It's never done this, so but I apologize. But Mav, how's the past couple of weeks been again, brother? We haven't spoken like hardly at all. Even our DMs have been ultra quiet because I think, well, real life, of course, but Starfield as well. What's been going on, brother?
Man, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you, man.
I mean, and like 2 weeks ago, we had a show, but it was like a shorter show, right? Because it was a Starfield launch show. And then we had no show last week. Feels like it's been a long time, man.
It has been a long time, sir.
It's too long. I don't know. I'm super glad that we get to do this today. So what have I been up to? I've been trying to be a part of the Starfield Defense Force. I've been out there, like, I don't know, man. I just, like, for some reason this game, I just feel like I gotta, like, try and say as much as I can about how amazing it is and, like, how it's ridiculous some of the things that are out there and all that kind of stuff. I've just been lost in it, man. I've been pretty busy with real life stuff as well. We got a lot of stuff going on at home and stuff. But besides that, it's like just Starfield, man. I just want to play Starfield. Starfield. I've been tinkering around in my office and setup and doing some things. I've been trying to change some things for future streams and stuff too. So that's been a process as well. But yeah, man, just loving the hell of the game. This is our first chance to really talk about Starfield, like without playing in a party chat for a little bit, you know.
I saw you brought the big screen in. You've been playing on the big screen through the PC.
I did.
How's that going?
I have a court, and so I have us here as well now.
Yep.
Like, part of my thing is I wanted to be able to do more with the display that's back there. So, I have 4 monitor ports on this
Mhm.
PC.
Yep.
So I have my 3 monitors here. I set up the TV over here to be able to play Starfield. I did that yesterday, and from the PC. So I just got to turn my chair around and just have it there. And I gotta say, dude, like I've been loving playing on ultra wide, but
Yeah.
this setup between that TV and this PC is something magic is happening.
Mhm.
with the colors and everything, and the crispness. Oh my god, bro! It's taking it to even another level. It is insanely gorgeous. So I've been loving the hell out of that. But yeah, now hopefully I can have more functionality things going on with there with streams and stuff too, instead of just a blank screen. So yeah, looking forward to more stuff coming up with Starfield and hopefully some more streams. But also, Pong, I got another TV. This is fucking crazy, guys. I have 5 screens in this room right now. It looks like a Starfield
stupid.
cockpit.
Do you have your own like nuclear generator in there to harness all this?
Yeah, I have a reactor. I have a reactor.
A home built reactor. Yeah. Nice.
And I'm carrying too much mass right now. Like
yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
No, but I got another TV over here set up for Xbox streams, and I'm gonna show it off like during the a stream coming up soon. But I have it set to where I can switch back and forth between here and over there.
Nice.
So I got another mic set up and another camera set up. The whole shebang. So it's gonna be interesting. I'll be able to do it on the fly as long as everything works right. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of that. Been a lot of work stuff and a lot of Starfield. That's pretty much it. Yeah. I don't even care to play anything else right now, man.
Nope.
I don't. A long time since the game has like made me disinterested in other games releasing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even really want to do anything but play Starfield at this point. Like, again, you and I are gamers through and through. We're gamers first.
Yeah.
Podcasters second when it comes to what we do here. And it shows through anytime a big game comes out. But Starfield is different. Starfield is cyberpunk on steroids for me right now. And I love cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And I no-lifed cyberpunk for a long time. But Starfield, I have not even looked at any other games. I have not been on Twitter as much outside of posting my love for Starfield and posting exactly what I challenged everybody on our shows to do, to combat the negativity that it has been out there, that it continues to be out there, is to combat it with exactly showing how good this game is to all of us. Those of us that are enjoying it. I didn't ask anybody to fake enjoy this game. Again, if this game isn't for you, it's not for you. That's fine. I have zero problem with it. But that's what I've been doing. Like, this is like, and I've been playing a lot of Series X version. Again, sitting on my couch on the big screen. I've been having a great experience. Now, of course, I've gone back to the PC. It's totally different, like you said, Mav, and I do want to do what you did, and I want to try hooking up my TV and trying it out there as well to see what that experience is like.
OLED like this.
Yeah, I got the OLED. Yeah,
mine isn't and OLED, I want to see. But it's
what are you running on your TV? 1440?
No, dude, 4K.
You did 4K?
But
what's your first? Yeah,
it's I'm running 4K, but I'm using FSR2.
Okay.
On the TV, on the monitor, I'm not using any FSR.
Right.
But I don't notice it at all. Like, it looks like super sharp 4K. Like, this TV, this is a Sony TV. I've had it for a couple of years and I haven't used it enough, right? But it has like these other features on it, like this a color thing on it. I don't remember the names of it. But you know how sometimes in Starfield some of the colors can kind of get washed out because of the way the light is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This some setting in this TV, I found it like gets rid of it. It takes care of it, like and not to like a fake degree or anything. It's like it's bringing the colors to life more in Starfield, which is like it's taking the gorgeousness of it to another level. So props to whatever that voodoo magic Sony I usually turn all that stuff off, but in this game, like, it really freaking works, bro.
Nice.
So I'm using that, and I'm using FSR2, so I have the like resolution, like whatever that slider is that drops it down, but like it's displaying at 4K. And I can't tell any damn difference, honestly.
That's gonna be interesting. I want to try it out and see what I can get out of it, and see and obviously how the PC handles it.
And max settings, max settings across the board except for that, which FSR2 is fixing it, and getting solid 60, like smooth as butter. And cool. with headroom.
Right.
So I could actually move that scale. Like if I will say if I run at native 4K max settings, it was hitting like in the 50s, right?
Okay. Yep.
So, but I wanted to smooth 60, so that's why I used the FSR.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that out.
You might be able to get the smooth 60 because your graphics card is slightly better than mine with the got the extra X at the end.
Yeah, I'm just below a 4090, in between a 48 and a 4090, so I might be able to pull it off. But that I'll have to play with it and see if I can pause. I'll have to see if I can get that working because I would like to check it out. But honestly, the Series X version, again, I say it all the time, but people need to know this. I don't have a problem with 30 frames. 30 frames for me, especially one that's been done the way this one has, doesn't affect me at all, except for like the first 5 minutes going from PC to the Series X. And then after that, I don't even notice it anymore because I've gamed on console for so long. It doesn't even phase me anymore. But the experience has been fantastic. I've had 0 crashes. Again, I got the magical Series X. I know other people have had crashes. I've had 0 crashes. I've had very few bugs. I've had some stuttering, which is a known issue as well at certain points. Entering a room, swapping guns on the fly while jetpacking and shooting. I'll get a stutter here or there. Stuff that they do have to patch. But other than that, the Series X version has been simply flawless. Let's just dive into Starfield because there's no point in talking about this through our intros, and then we'll get into the shows that happened today, and we'll get into regular news. We'll get our Starfield talk out of the way because, like Mav said, him and I haven't really had a chance on the show.
Yeah, I know this was like last week's conversation for a lot of people, but like
it was.
This is like me and Pong's catch-up time, guys. Like,
a little bit. I promise. I promise we won't go too long. But Mav and I haven't had a chance. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, this game. There's very few companies who do sandbox style games well, right? And Bethesda to me is the top one. You got Rockstar, obviously they do a sandbox style game. It's different, but it is a sandbox. It is their version.
Yeah.
And then CDPR with Cyberpunk proved that they can do a sandbox as well. And I thought Cyberpunk was absolutely fantastic. I love it. My God, I can't wait till we talk about Phantom Liberty today. Oh my God, that new trailer with Idris. Oh boy, might have Mav show it on screen later. So there's very few companies who do this, and all this negativity. Honestly, I've seen the articles now being written
it's
continuously
all for clicks.
Yeah, it is all for clicks. But I've seen people discussing legitimately, do we want Bethesda to make a different style game? Do we want them to change how they make games? No. A resounding after playing Starfield, I don't care if you think it's outdated. I don't care that if somehow magically now loading screens ruin your whole immersion experience, even though we've had loading screens for decades. I don't care about your personal feelings on this because I'm giving you my personal feelings. Okay.
Yeah.
And no, I don't want Bethesda to change their formula. I want Bethesda to continue to do what they have to do. And if they are going to continue to give us giant scoped games and the tech simply makes it impossible for them not to have a loading screen in there due to the Creation Engine 2.0, whatever, I don't care what it is. Give me loading screens, Bethesda. I don't want you to change your formula. This formula was made for me. And in Starfield, it's not just the run-of-the-mill formula. This is where I think people are extremely wrong in the fact that they say they've done nothing new. Sorry. The starship building alone is hands down brand spanking new. And you can tell the time and effort that they put into the starship building. Oh my God, that's a game unto itself for me. They moved the bar forward with Starfield. Is this a perfect game? No, I've said it on multiple shows now. It's not a perfect game. I have my gripes. I have my quality of life stuff that they're starting to listen to, which they always do. There's going to be patches.
Yeah.
There's going to be fixes. There is stupid things that I go, Bethesda, how the hell did you not know that players were going to ask for this or need this in this game? Like, come on, like seriously. So it's not a perfect game, but it's the perfect game for me. That's the difference. And so when people, this discourse around this game, that this now, again, I continuously see people posting the new Metacritic as it drops, the new Steam reviews as it drops. Great for you. If you are judging games yet again by those scores and not playing them for yourself, that's a you thing. Go ahead. If you don't like the game, fine. But the fact is that when people talk about this game, me and Mav specifically, Mav, you've been stirring up the hornet's nest by doing your thing on X and saying this is a masterpiece time and time again, which just seems to just absolutely throw gasoline all over these freaking clowns.
It's a masterpiece to me.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Whatever adjectives you want to use to describe this game, if I'm coming out here and I will say that this is now my game of the year, obviously.
Yeah.
My game of the year. And then I'm going to say that this is my game of the generation. Not saying nobody else can be game of the generation, but I'm saying this is my game of the generation. You have no right whatsoever to argue me. Like, again, it's personal taste here.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a huge group of people that are absolutely loving this game. The engagement on and again, I understand this is anecdotal, that this is just a small community thing. I get it. The fact is, my posts about Starfield are getting more engagement than any other game, hands down, that I've ever posted about, outside of maybe early on Cyberpunk. But it's more than that even. Like, this game has a lot of love behind it. You're going to see a lot of negativity out there right now. But Mav, again, you've been stirring up the hornet's nest. I've been fighting with positivity and doing my thing. You keep throwing up masterpiece. It's hilarious because I know what's coming when you do it. And it's just absolutely, it's like clockwork.
I did too. That's the funny thing is, like, obviously I chose the words for a reason, you know what I mean? But it's like,
of course,
it's like, it's how I feel, right? Because I feel like people weren't expecting Bethesda to make a Bethesda game.
Correct.
It's weird, right?
It is. It's very strange.
And they were expecting them to make a No Man's Sky exploration game or a Star Citizen type game, and like not a Bethesda RPG. Which, remember, they kept saying this is a Bethesda game through and through. How many times did we hear Todd Howard say that, right? And did people want anything different originally? Is it like, I'd never heard any conversations about that, except for the people that mistakenly started comparing this game to No Man's Sky early on, right? In which we kept saying, no, it's not No Man's Sky. And people were saying, why do people keep telling us that we can't compare the game to No Man's Sky? Because the game ain't No Man's Sky. It's never been No Man's Sky. It's never been that kind of game. If that's what you want, that's not the kind of game it is. This was always,
go freaking play No Man's Sky.
Yes, this always was and going to be a Skyrim type game in space, and it was always going to be a Bethesda RPG set in space. So when people were like, "Did it meet your expectations?" I'm like, yes. Well, I'm surprised. Really? How are you surprised that it met my expectations? I really actually thought the mechanics in the game were going to work the way the mechanics in the game work. And the thing that people started trying to bring out early on, before the game even came out, to try and dissuade people from getting excited from it, turned out to be a non-issue, like, whatsoever. Right. Like, those things were put out there specifically to try and draw negativity towards the game, in which some reviewers have highlighted and spotlighted some of these things and then tried to say, well, I thought I was going to be able to fly around forever and do my own space adventures and all this stuff. And it's like, cool, yeah, I get that. But talk about the fucking game that you're playing, man, and talk about everything you're doing and talk about what the game is, not what the game is not. That's not how you look at games. And they don't do that with other games. And none of these people do. And that's the most frustrating thing to me about the Starfield conversation, is that when people look at it, it has to be the greatest in every category that's ever existed in every single game. And for anything it does not do, we're going to extra highlight those things. And, we're going to knock it down. If it's a review, we're going to knock it down and score for those things in which the game never said it was going to be. Right.
Right.
And there's been this extra attention and extra criticalness, hypercritical sense of reviews and also thought processes from people, just because I think of how big and ambitious of a game this is, which is a testament to it in the first place. I've never seen a game before this quality have this much ambition and scope all combined into one package release. And it is not getting any credit from that.
That's my question.
Absolutely crazy to me.
That's my question, Matt. That's my honest to goodness question to these people. Name me another game of this size and scope that's doing as many things as Starfield. Name me one game. Name me another AAA studio. Right. Name me another AAA studio who does games like this. Again, Rockstar, CDPR. There's only two you can probably name off. If there's some I'm forgetting, chat, please let me know. But again, for the most part, but these reviewers, these people, these gamers, they want Bethesda to be something different. And I don't understand why. There's a reason why their previous games are considered some of the best games of all time by a lot of different gamers. And you want them to suddenly be something that they're not. And you suddenly want them to throw out the entire formula that has won them Game of the Year awards, that has won them Game of the Generation, because you personally were looking for something different. Instead of, you could have been listening to all of us Bethesda fans, or a lot of us Bethesda fans, who, when asked, why are you so hyped about this game? You don't even know what this game's going to be. We freaking told you what this game was going to be. Todd Howard himself told you what this game was going to be, and it shows up at your doorstep, and all of a sudden you're like, well, this isn't what I wanted. Well, then Bethesda games aren't for you. So go play all these other games that you're comparing it to and have a great time. They're out there. But if this is not the game you didn't want, then you never were interested in a Bethesda title in the first place, especially Starfield. And for all you fans out there and reviewers who continuously talk about how big your fandom is for Fallout and Skyrim, right? If Starfield, for whatever reason, didn't hit you, I'm not here to tell you you're not a fan like some people, but I am going to have to ask you a question. What did you want Todd and the A-Team to do? Because you had a love with these other games for decades with this team, and they come out with their new game. I got to ask, what were you expecting? Again, if you're talking about a utopian world,
they're expecting No Man's Sky, bro.
Right? That's what I'm saying. If you are expecting, if you're talking about a utopian world, and this comes back to your point that you just made, Matt, and I agree wholeheartedly with you in a lot of instances. And this isn't the only game, but it does seem to be pick and choose when people decide to take this avenue with this game. The fact is that if in the utopian world, if we could have everything we want, great. Could I make a list of things I would have loved to see in this game? Absolutely. Of course I could. It would have been like the ultimate sci-fi game, right? But that's technologically not possible right now. It's also obviously not the direction or the vision that Todd and his team had.
Yeah.
So again, to your point, Matt, why suddenly with Starfield are you picking to choose that this is the game where you are going to look at it and grade it or judge it based upon what you wished was in it versus what the game is actually doing for you and what they actually did give you? This is the tone. And I'm sorry, I will disagree with people who say that's not what's being done here. This has been fairly reviewed. This has been fairly criticized, et cetera, et cetera. If you read the overall tone of the negative reviews, you will see a pattern where they constantly talk about the stuff that wasn't given to them. God of War didn't have jump. I hate to bring this up because I think this is stupid. God of War does not have a jump button. I didn't see a bunch of reviewers writing a paragraph about how they wish God of War had a jump button. Yeah. Even though that was a topic of discussion, again, in the console war space, I didn't see reviewers pointing out that stuff. God of War would have been freaking fantastic if they added a jump button and aerial attacks, and I could have obviously held them in the air and juggled them the whole entire time. It would have been freaking fantastic. You know what? I wish God of War had more Devil May Cry in it. You don't see that stuff.
Yeah.
On certain games. And again, I'm just using God of War. It happens across
the thing is, like, your to your point, like, every game has either things that somebody, oh, that would be cool if they added it, or that's not in the game, but oh well, you know, like, no game is perfect. 10 out of 10 for like reviews never means perfect, right? Because there's no such thing as a perfect game, right? But I feel like because Starfield is not perfect, the little nitpicky things, the things that you can point to, are blown out so massively compared to other games that have way more problems than Starfield does, right? Like way more right. issues, way more right. things, but yet they get glossed over because of whatever the trend is of the conversation and hive mentality at the time, right? And it's like, how does that happen? And we see this, right? From an outside like perspective looking in, and it's like, what the hell is going on? Like, how is this happening? How do they put out a game this ambitious with this level of scope, put it out this level of quality with this much content in it, with all these different things to do, that all these different things are well done, with the great story and also amazing, all these different, you can just go across the board, all these different categories, and they get praised in all these same reviews, right? Yep. All those things, all of these things. How can you possibly have all of these things in a game and then be like, it doesn't have enough of this, 7 out of 10, or like, and it's just like, what am I? What world am I in right now? Is this like some kind of dystopian universe where all of a sudden minds just change to be able to think differently about one game than every other game that's graded and judged by people? Like, it's just strange to me, dude. And that's why I have the reaction, and I'm messing with people, and I'm calling out a lot of people for the obvious horseshit that they have too. Like, with this game is about trying to look a certain way, right? Trying to come across as like, I have integrity. I'm going to be ultra critical of this game because it's a big game and it has to meet the standards, and Bethesda doesn't deliver. I'm going to knock it for this and that and make sure they really are held accountable. And like other games is like, you know what? It's fucking broken, but hey, great story. 9 out of 10. You know, why not? You know, I love it. You know, like, what it's a parallel universe, man. I don't understand it, but there's some crazy fuckers out there. I'll just say that. It is. And I got to laugh. I mean, I'm at the point of just laughing. I'm not angry like you per se with people's opinions that they have and the scores that they've given it. It is what it is. This game is going to be continuously talked about for the next 10, 15, 20 years. It doesn't matter. We're already seeing it, Mav, that this game, for the people out here, and there's millions upon millions of Bethesda fans who do love Starfield and do love the Bethesda formula, and that's not changing. Yeah. And the fact is that this game is going to be talked about forever. And you can sit back and say, well, that's because of the modding community. Well, guess what? Who fostered that modding community?
Oh, that's right. Bethesda themselves fostered that modding.
They embrace it.
They've embraced it, right? They get credit for some of that.
They put the tools in the game to make that possible. They also are going to have it to where you can actually do that on. What other games will allow you to do that on console?
Correct. And very few and far between. Very few. So Bethesda games. So for me, I gotta laugh at these people. The sad thing, and why am I sad? And I do think, again, I heard King, shout out to King David, talk about this on the Iron Lords, and I do think sometimes it's lost on people that when we bring up review scores, and Mav, you've been in plenty of discussions about this game and review scores.
Yeah.
When we bring it up, we're not talking about us.
Yeah.
This isn't a you and I and a lot of community members that are this passionate about video gaming already know that reviews are worthless, except for from a chosen few that actually do speak your language that you can listen to, and most of the time you agree on games, and so you can go to them if you're kind of on the fence about a game. But most of us know Metacritic doesn't matter, OpenCritic doesn't matter, none of that shit matters at the end of the day when we're playing a game that is absolutely we love. We've talked about that 100 billion times, and we'll talk about it again. But the fact is that why the people lose the fact that an IGN 7 in 2023 is not considered a good game. And this isn't about us. That's the best worst score you can give a game.
Yeah, it's the safe bad. It's the safe negative,
it is.
Right?
It is. And that's not about us. We don't think that way, right? That's where people lose it. And King kind of went off when they were talking about an Iron Lords, and he kept talking about, don't let, he loves this saying, and I think it's funny. He's like, do you have other people chew your food before you eat it? Blah, blah, blah. That's all fact. The sad part is that the masses, the people who don't know this stuff,
think for themselves, also,
the people who can't think for themselves, the people that do run to IGN every time there's a new big game, and they say IGN subconsciously, they say to themselves, IGN is going to determine whether or not I play this game. And they go and read that review, and they decide to skip Starfield because they came out with a 7. That's what it's about. That's the sad part about Metacritic and about OpenCritic is it's not about us. We all know better. It's about the people who don't know better. And you're right. Is that their personal responsibility? Sure. But these are just casual consumers. And the fact is, they could be missing out on potentially one of their favorite games of all time because somebody woke up that day and decided to create clickbait for their site, which happens to be the biggest video game site in history, and again, nobody will convince me. So I'm not here to convince anybody else that any of these theories that are discussed about reviewers, about reviews, or anything like that. Shout out to Tiger Eye Travis, who will lay down and die for IGN. I heard him defending this all damn week. And shout out to him. He's got loyalty. Love you, Ty Guy. The fact is, I'm not going to convince you. You're not going to convince me, but I'm still going to tell you. Dan Stapleton knew for a fact, as the head editor for IGN Game Reviews, when he took that review, and he admitted as such, he pulled rank, took the Starfield review. He knew for a fact, giving it a 7, what it would do for IGN. I'd love to see the internal numbers about how many clicks that article got versus a normal review on another AAA game. I didn't even want to see the number of clicks that review got over their God of War or any other big game review. I can guarantee you that article got clicked on 3, 4, 5, maybe even 10 times as much as one of their normal AAA reviews.
Well, there's a reason these sites keep posting shit about Starfield like
correct.
This, right?
GameSpot kept posting theirs all week, talking about, hey, did you see we gave it a 7 out of 10?
Look at our score again.
You will not convince me that some reviews for certain games and certain pieces of plastic are a business decision at the end of the day. You will never convince me. And then people ignored the fact that Dan Stapleton went onto a Spaces and didn't even know some of the basics about the game. Again, it's fine. You're a professional. You get paid. I don't. I wish I had your job. I don't. So props off to you. But don't go into places publicly and show your ignorance about a game that you just gave a 7 out of 10. It doesn't help you save face in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and
again,
claim, oh, but look at it. It means good because it says those
No.
words. Right?
And again,
knows, you know what I mean?
Everybody knows in 2023 what a 7 is. Everybody knows, whether I agree with it or not. And of course, I don't agree with it. But everybody knows what that means. And if you don't know it and you are the head editor at IGN, that means you are completely 100% out of touch with the entire industry and the base that you're giving these reviews to. You are completely 100% out of touch if you're going to go down that road. I don't care what it says. You know better. And again, I don't even care that he gave it a 7, honestly. Yeah. I laughed about it. I said, I even put it in our DMs. I said, ooh, pretend shocked. Dan Stapleton wrote a review like this about Starfield. I think it's a disservice to a lot of average consumers who will never try Starfield because he decided to wake up that morning and do it this way. That's what I get sad about.
Yeah.
But again, hopefully, if we keep driving the narrative, if people keep talking about Starfield, eventually people will jump into it, just like people are jumping back into Cyberpunk and coming back and discovering that, this actually was a really great game. Yeah, a lot of us tried to tell y'all. Again, Cyberpunk a little bit different. Cyberpunk was, boy.
I mean, again, it had its issues for sure.
It had its major issues, and how their management team handled it, and all the delays. Like Cyberpunk was a different level. The fact is that people miss out on great games because they do go to these sites and they trust these sites because they don't know any better. And so for me, when I see that, it's ridiculous. Man, let's talk some positivity here. I want to get, because this is the first time you and I have really, really talked outside of being in a party chat together about Starfield. Give me, now that you're in, how far are you in, by the way? Do you know how many hours you're in?
I got about 60, roughly. Okay. Kate's like past me, bro, because I've had a lot of stuff.
Kate's ridiculous. She's doing so awesome.
It's insane. She has never played an RPG before.
That's what I'm saying. These are the people that I was just talking about.
Right.
That's the stuff. That's freaking amazing to hear. I've been giving her props all week for trying it because it's true. It's great that she's fallen in love with this game.
And so absolutely like she's just enamored with it, bro. Like all she wants to do is play Starfield. Like she doesn't play anything else anymore. All she wants to do is play Starfield. And she like wakes up and she does stuff like that she does or whatever, like all of her things. And then she just plays Starfield. Right. And then at night, like right now, I think she's cooking right now. But when she's done cooking, she's gonna be playing Starfield during our show. I guarantee you, right? Yeah. Like it's just this is what she does when she has time. She plays Starfield. Same with me. Like it's been insane. But I'm about 60 hours in. I've done a lot of different side quests. I'm tackling the Vanguard stuff now.
Okay.
I've also started on the cusp of my journey to become a drug overlord. I have learned the Aurora recipe.
Really?
I have the outpost started on a planet. I've started tinkering with that.
Well.
I gotta find. There's certain things I gotta do. I gotta go and find some certain planets that have specific resources and start all that. But yeah, I'm on the cusp of that, and gonna get my manufacturing underway. But right now I've been doing the Vanguard stuff.
Yeah.
I've done the Freestar Rangers stuff.
Yep.
I've done several different random quests, and I'm like, I have 2 of the, we all saw from the trailers you get abilities, right? So I have 2 abilities right now.
Sure.
Two power things, and that's where I'm at right now. Yeah.
What in your 60 plus hours now, Mav? And you really, obviously, you dove in to this game. What are some of the?
Oh my God! Kate just said 3 days, 9 hours, 50 minutes.
Jesus, Kate, good for you, girl. Love to see it. For you now, 60 plus hours in. Give me something that surprised you that you didn't know you were going to love about this game, and then just give me a general couple. Like, give me your big surprise, like the one thing that you didn't know you were going to love as much as you do. And then just give me like some of your positives that you really are enjoying within the game itself, whether it is storylines, whether it is just building the the bases, the outposts, whatever it is. Give me your big surprise first.
Man, there's so much, dude. So I will say, like, my biggest better than expected is the combat across the board.
Good one. Fantastic one.
And that goes for the ship combat too. Ship combat is freaking awesome, man.
Addicted.
Yeah,
bro.
It is awesome. I love the ship combat. I love the different ways you can approach the situations with combat based on the guns you're using. And the NPCs can sometimes, I mean, the enemy AI can sometimes like not do what they're supposed to do, and they can get a little wonky. But when it's working right and when they're on, that's really good. Like, they're taking cover, they're running away, they're like charging you. I mean, they're flanking, doing lots of different stuff that I haven't seen a lot in other games. And there's a lot of verticality, right?
Yes.
And a lot of the side quests and dungeons and stuff, like, there's a lot of verticality. Like, you'll be shooting guys at railings like super high, and then sometimes they'll be like super low, and like they'll come around and find other ways to get behind you and stuff. So I'm loving all of that with the combat. The ship combat is surprisingly good. I actually thought I was going to hate that because I do like space games, like with ships and stuff, but like I don't like love them. I don't like like Chorus and or Everspace 2 and stuff. I don't like love games like that, right? So it takes a good one, and this is actually, for me, I prefer this than a lot of those games, right? I'm really loving the ship combat. The outpost building, actually, surprisingly, I started messing with this outpost. As soon as it started clicking, I was like, oh, this is actually pretty damn good, you know. I'm actually like, I hated the Fallout 4 stuff, right?
Yeah.
I hated doing all that stuff in Fallout 4. This was like a lot more intuitive and simple for me, which is what I was hoping it would be.
Some people have said that they toned it down from Fallout 4. Some people don't like it. Some people like it more.
I like it more because of that. It's less like less things, right? And so I can kind of focus more and just kind of figure out what I want. And I love there's certain mechanics with it that work really well that they were very smart about with how some of the buildings work with the versus like the ground that they're on and stuff. Like, there's staircases that'll automatically form based on how high the building is up, right? For like entrances and stuff like that. There's like platforms or like columns that'll automatically like go down deeper to have at the same level as where your other buildings are. So there's like smart mechanics they put in there. You can really go in there and kind of have fun messing with that. And I wasn't expecting to like that at all. Honestly,
that's a big surprise. Then that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
But I do like it. I gotta say something else is the side quest storylines.
Yeah,
way better than I expected. Right, a lot of times, like, some of them kind of get mundane, and in some of the games are like, okay, you're just kind of going through the motions or whatever, and it's more about the exploring the environment than it is actually getting engaged in the story of that mission, right? And a lot of times in past games, even Bethesda games, some of the side missions, I felt like, yeah, I'm doing this just to see what I get out of it, as opposed to being engaged and motivated based on the story that is being told throughout the quest, right? Here, I am engaged in these side quests and these stories, and even the random ones that pop up, because of the delivery of the story of it motivating me to see the outcome and live in that world to make the decisions and stuff. Like, it's very motivating story wise. And I was on Boxenberger's show today, and I was talking about that with games and stories and stuff like that. Like, for me, what makes a good story in a game is when the story for me is good enough that it motivates me to have to know what happens next. Right?
Yes.
And that is Starfield, but in this quest line, it's that in this quest line, it's that in this quest line, and I've liked Bethesda games in that regard before, but never before to the extent that I'm liking the quest lines in Starfield. And it's across the board, dude. Like, Freestar Rangers was a blast. They had twists and stuff. Like they had the UC Vanguard one is great so far. Like, and they're all different too.
Sure.
They have different
I've been hearing
flavors,
that a lot.
Right?
Yep.
So man,
that a lot.
I can't get enough of dude. Like I have praise across the board for so many different things, and
Yes.
you know, people can blow certain things out of proportion and stuff, but like I just never played a game that's been this captivating in so many different areas and regards that I'm loving every aspect of it. And this is like if you were to ask me today, this is my favorite game of all time right now. Like Red Dead Redemption 2, Halo 2, Command and Conquer. There's a lot of games that are up there for me, right? And for me, just this is, if you ask me today, it is. A year or two from now, I could reflect back and feel differently. But I'll probably still be playing Starfield.
Yeah.
So.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I think, like I said, Mav, in my intro, this game was built for people like you and I. This game is literally what we look for in games, and you're playing. Your 60 hours, Mav, are completely different than my 100 hours. I'm over 100 hours. I haven't touched a side mission outside of doing the first mission for the Crimson Fleet to get accepted to actually just be able to go meet the Crimson Fleet. I haven't done anything besides that. All of Constellation is still back at the lodge waiting for me to show up to talk to Sarah. I haven't done any of that. I literally have gone off like I do in most Bethesda games, but even more so in this game just because of the size and scope. I've literally gone off and started my life as a pirate. And my character, Celine Caron, I've got stories. I've been doing, I don't know if you've seen, Mav, but I've been posting on X some adventure logs.
Mm-hmm.
It's all been random stuff, not any generated stuff outside of, one of the little side missions. I've been doing some of the little side missions, like go kill the Crimson Fleet pilot here, blah, blah, blah. I've been doing little stuff like that. No major stuff. But I've been finding all these amazing stories on my own, just like I have in every other Bethesda game. And that's the other thing I've heard is people saying, the exploration's just not there. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know, because the only thing I've kind of like understood from people is because this is spread across a universe and it's not a single landmass like a Skyrim or Fallout. So you're not just roaming along in the same areas for, 40 hours coming across all these things, even though you can do that on a planet. Trust me, you can. Yeah. I've been there. But because it's broken up, I think maybe people have this feeling that the exploration is not the same. But let me tell you something. Both space exploration and land exploration have gone up and beyond my expectations with what I thought this was going to be. Again, the random stories that I'm semi-creating as I'm playing these games. Again, I had a big long one that I posted that everybody kind of loved, which was great to see, because again, I love when people get excited about this stuff. Where I just showed up to kill a Crimson Fleet captain at this base, and the base from the outside looked like a couple of buildings. It was a lab. It was a lab, and it just looked like a couple of empty buildings from the outside. And of course, there was some the Ecliptic were there, and so I was like, okay, cool. This dude's got to be in one of these buildings. Obviously, the marker was showing me that he was inside one of the buildings. I'm like, cool. I'll clear out these Ecliptic, and then I'll go in after the captain. And I wound up going in finding a backside route, what I thought was a backside route. It turned out to be a dead end, but there was a bunch of loot there, which was good that I found it. I cut through one of the side doors that they had, one of the cuttable doors, went in. When I went in, Mab, within 3 minutes, there was a freaking yelling. There was gunfire randomly somewhere else in this base. And I was like, what the hell's going on? And like 3 minutes later, it pops up. Quest complete. Pirate captain killed. I was like, the Ecliptic just took care of my mission for me. Okay. I'm like, I got to go check this out. So I went back to the front, wound up in over an hour long. This base was not a couple this lab was not a couple buildings. It was an entire underground complex, a Ryujin special project underground base where they were testing things, and the Ecliptic were looting the place. And I wound up in this hour plus long adventure underneath the ground with killing about, it had to be, it was over 20. I think it was more like 25 ecliptic mercs down inside this base. That was just some random little thing that I showed up to do. These are the types of stories and these are the types of adventures that never get old for me. This is why I don't want Bethesda to ever change their style. I don't want them to try to make it more what people like now, which is a very focused narrative. You can go do that. Go do your main missions and go have fun with the main missions.
We get plenty of those games.
We got plenty of those games.
We only get one game like Bethesda game like every how many years, you know? Like,
right. 6 to 8 years. Like this is like where we're at now. Like again, that's because Bethesda is the only one that does this. I don't want them to change because of this stuff. But the biggest surprise, I'll give you my biggest surprise here, man. My biggest surprise, and yes, you were right. The overall combat in this game is phenomenal. Again, I see all these crazy clips of people using their powers, using their jetpacks, doing all these crazy, like turning it into a completely different game. Yeah. I'm still old school. I still sneak around. I still like my sniper rifles. I still take out from distance. I ain't jetpacking in, shotgunning everybody down. I still play this like a classic Bethesda or any kind of classic game like this. I like the sneak, and I don't even have my sneak perk yet. I haven't even started my sneak skills yet because I've been investing all my time in a tech. And why have I been investing all my time in a tech now? Why? Why am I so invested in the tech tree when normally I would be 100% a ninja thief throughout this entire game? Because shipbuilding is way beyond what I even was hyped about after seeing what they showed us. And I was getting really excited about the shipbuilding. Now that I'm into the shipbuilding, now that I've taken my first ship that I ever pirated, which was a Crimson Fleet Ghost, a little agile fighter, and I have turned it in, and I posted this today, turned it into an freaking full C-class pirate warship that looks like a freaking bee, which I did not plan, as much as people want to think that I planned. I did not plan that. I did not. It just turns out that it looks that way. I am fully invested in the shipbuilding. Shipbuilding is like adult Legos for me right now.
Yeah.
I am seriously like, my mind is like, I'm to the point now where I've gotten used to it. I know a lot of people say, it's kind of clunky. It's kind of this. Jasper on stream is hilarious because he gets so mad at the camera.
Yeah.
And yes, there are some of that obviously they could kind of tweak and make a little bit better. But God, and yes, I would like some more parts. I want them to continue to expand this. And again, if you've been on X, formerly known as Twitter, anytime recently, the things that people are creating in this game already with the shipbuilding are unbelievable. Yeah. Now, I'm not one of those dudes who wants to go create some big funky ship. I'm not one of those dudes who wants to try to remake Star Wars and Star Trek. I'll let the modders do that. I'll let them make one fully fleshed out. I appreciate all the work and effort that Jasper and Steele and everybody's putting into to make these ships from other movies. I'm a purist when it comes to this stuff. So I like my ships a certain way. And I don't go into them trying to build anything outside of, does this look good? Is this something I would fly? What do I want on this ship? That's what I've done. And now that I've spent so much time in it, the ease of use, once you get used to it, is incredible. Yeah. The different ways that you can manipulate the parts. Yes, there's still some things that I'm like, this is annoying. This part should work here, but it doesn't. Why doesn't it work here? Outside of that, the shipbuilding has absolutely 100% become an addiction of mine. I have spent over 200,000, almost 300,000 credits, I think, on that little ghost that I pirated and turned it into the C-class warship now that simply melts everything that I come up against nonstop. I can now take on 4+ fighters, no problem whatsoever. And I'm talking about higher level than me fighters too. I have zero problems with it because I've gotten the flying down. And that's the other thing too, is space itself. I heard a lot of people complain, well, there's nothing to do in space. You just fast travel everywhere. You don't find a whole lot. Sorry, yet again, the loading screens don't bother me. So I'm not breaking my immersion as I go to another system looking for trouble, because that's what I'm doing as a pirate captain. I am looking for trouble. I am jumping from space to space to space. I appreciate the fact that it's that simple, that it's a short little cinematic scene of my ship flying to the next area because I'm jumping so much. But one every 3 jumps, I'm getting into a battle. 1 out of every 2, 1 out of every 3 jumps, I'm finding some kind of space station, or I'm finding just cargo randomly floating in space from some ship that blew up. Asteroids. I'm finding something all the time. So the people that are telling me that space is empty, I don't agree with you at all. Space is not empty for me. Space has been anything but. And the dogfighting Mav, as you brought up, is sublime once you get used to it. I actually wish the AI was a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Now that I've spent so much time,
it started out really hard. Now it's gotten better.
Gotten better.
You got to get good at it. Yeah.
I've learned all the different tricks. I've got a master class in my ship specifically. You get used to your ship. You get used to where your settings need to be at for the best chance. I got used to hitting the brakes as they fly by and doing a quick 180 on them because I know they're trying to do a 180 on me. Locking in the lock system. I've got the lock maxed out now. That is so much fun. And I got the targeting down when I'm locked in so I can disable them and board them. And let me tell you, boarding is unbelievable still to this day. Yes, I blow up a majority of ships, but if I find those big boys, usually sometimes they got a bunch of fighters and they got one big ship. If I can board it, I'm boarding. Again, I just posted again the other day. I posted on X a story where I boarded the Spacer's Hyena, a 4-level. This is the biggest ship I've ever boarded, a 4-level C-class Hyena. I posted a picture of the radar when I boarded their ship. I have never seen this many dudes on a ship. I was like, oh, okay. I was expecting like 5 or 6 guys. No. 15 plus turrets. I was like, oh, we better break out the minigun. So the micro gun, they call it in this game. I broke out the micro gun, the explosive legendary micro gun that I got about 5 days ago or so. Went to work on this ship. There's little things I could sit and talk about that I wish were done differently. There are some hiccups again that I go, Bethesda, after all these years, you gotta know your players are gonna probably say, why did you do it this way? Again, it's not a perfect game, but the moment to moment adventuring, the moment to moment fun that I'm having, this addiction that is now Starfield for me is second to none. And Mav, I said that it's my game of the year. I said that right now I will say it's my game of the generation easily. Baldur's Gate 3 is right there as well. I got to get back to that. I'll get back to that eventually. That's a different style game. Again, funny how all that nonsense stopped once it came out, and very few people are playing it on one side. But the fact is that I said that this game, even though I'm a high fantasy dude first, sci-fi guy close second, was on its way to be my favorite Bethesda game. I'll say here on PM and the PM right now, I'll confidently say that this is my favorite Bethesda title of all time, which is huge, which is gigantic. And maybe it's recency bias because, again, I haven't sunk my teeth into Oblivion in a long time, but I have played Skyrim over the past year. I played Skyrim. I went back to Skyrim. Starfield is now my number one Bethesda title in total scope.
I mean, they pushed things
forward,
right?
Yes, they did.
So I mean, it should be that much better now, right? Like,
yes,
they've improved the combat, they've improved like storytelling, they've improved the graphics. It's a freaking gorgeous game, man. Like, it
can be extremely ugly too.
It can.
There's areas that are like. Yeah, I was laughing because Jaffe came out this past week, Mav. I don't know if you saw, but Jaffe came out this week and said he played through the main quest, a couple side quests here and there, played through the main quest. He said it's his favorite single player game of all time.
Yeah.
David Jaffe. Okay. Again, love him, hate him, whatever. I enjoy him. I don't agree with him all the time, but I enjoy him. And I think he's got a unique perspective because of who he is, because of what he's done in this industry. He comes with a unique perspective. For him to say this is, and he took a ton of shit from his chat for saying this. But the fact that he came out and said that this is his favorite single player game, of all time does mean something as somebody who's been in this industry. It doesn't mean anything necessarily like, oh, that makes me feel better about things. I just think it's cool that somebody like him that can come out and say that despite it not being a perfect game. He understands what it is that you and I are talking about when we talk about being the type of gamers we are, Mav. We don't look at that stuff the same way. We don't criticize the same stuff. But I did have to laugh when he said, go outside of New Atlantis, and it does look like a PS3 game at points. There are some areas that is like...
There's definitely some areas where you can cross the NPC and be like, whoa, that person's really weird looking, right?
Yeah, but when it's all put together, Mav, when it's all put together in the majority of the time I'm playing, when it's all put together, the lighting, the details that they've gone to in just the materials, the clothing, the main NPC work, when it's all together, it is a gorgeous game. It really is.
Yeah. I get mesmerized time and time again from it, you know, like the scene, it's about the scene, you know what I mean? And it's about certain details and certain areas, and it's like the material. They did a really good job with the like material textures and stuff in this game. Like if you're up close to things, the way that the light shines off of stuff, and the way that like cloth looks and leather and all that kind of stuff is like really
fantastic job.
Really well done. Like
sort of compared to where they came from.
Yeah, and the guns and like
the gun design. I saw Cliffy B saying that was some of the best gun designs he's ever seen in video game history. Like some of the best, and it's true. The reload, the best animations, all of it, it's fantastic
from the guns too, man. Like, I have this one gun called the Big Bang. It's freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I don't even know what class of gun it is. It just shoots this sparkly shit out, and it annihilates people, and I freaking love it, dude. And it's got like, I got like 700 bullets of whatever this sparkly crap is, right?
Nice.
I don't even know what it is. But it's amazing, and I'm addicted to it, dude. And then
the loot is great in this game.
Yes, dude, it's so good, man. Like
keep finding new stuff all the damn time.
Yeah,
all the time. And even some of the blue stuff,
different guns.
Yeah, I'm over 100 and still finding. I haven't found all the guns that buy even close.
Micro gun yet?
Yeah, see, I got the micro gun. Like that's the thing.
I don't
and
have
there's
a sniper rifle yet.
Oh, I do have one of those, like called the Hitman.
Well,
hard target.
I have a Beowulf that's modified heavily.
Yes,
and it's got like 1,000 bullets in it. It's been single shot. It's got
I got a Beowulf too, legendary.
Like, legendary, yeah, and it's amazing, dude.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. That's the thing. And there's even blue weapons that you would think are throwaway weapons. Try them,
amazing,
because some of them are really damn good. I found a Maelstrom. Now, Steele swears he's never liked any of the Maelstroms he found, which is one of the first guns you wind up finding.
Right.
I found this blue rare Maelstrom. It's my go-to when I'm in trouble. Like the thing is like 80% accurate, and it does like only like 35 damage, but it doesn't matter the way, because it's semi-automatic, it staggers people. I love that gun. That's when you know you've done a great job, is when little stupid stuff that normally most people would throw away actually works. You've done a great job on your balancing. You've done a good job there. I just think, and again, we'll move on to other topics because we do have other topics this week. Mav and I just haven't had a chance to talk about this at all. And we could sit here again. We could do a 3-4 hour show on Starfield. But I think I just think that the conversation is not going to go away, and the conversation around Starfield is going to continue to happen, because this is what Bethesda games do. And we talked and told people, Mav, that that's when people are talking about, you need 3 months of marketing. No, you freaking don't. Yeah. These games come and they create their own whirlwind. They create their own black hole, as I've been saying, where everything is about them. This is what Bethesda does best. But the fact is that the people who love this game are not going to go away. Those of us, and there's millions of us, again, anecdotal, but my engagement off my Starfield tweets is ridiculous. Like, it's crazy. People are going to continue to talk about this game. We're going to continue to post new findings. People are going to continue to create crazy new ships and all sorts of things. And it's only going to get better and better when they officially, again, they don't even have official mods yet. Again, there's people modding already. I saw Stormtroopers already. People are getting ready to get that full Star Wars effect. This game is going to continue to drive conversation as we go through the years. Like you said, Matt, next year, I can guarantee you I'm still going to be playing Starfield. I can guarantee you I'm still going to be working through it. Again, I haven't touched anything in 100 hours. I've been doing my own thing like the entire time.
Yep.
Like this is a game of my dreams. If it came to sci-fi, I've seen plenty of people in chat talking about it. People out there talking about it constantly. The nostalgia factor for me is that every time I jump into this game, I feel like I'm jumping into a 70s, 80s, early 90s sci-fi flick. Like name any one of them. And there'll be a moment that you can have in Starfield, whether it's Star Trek, Star Wars, whether there's movies like Total Recall, like even RoboCop. My God, some of the mechs in this game remind me of robots. Some of the robots. They took the best of all that we remember. If you're in, especially Gen Xers or people who grew up around families who appreciated that stuff, they took the best of all that and mixed it all in with their own Bethesda flair. And I love them for it, man. This is why Bethesda is my favorite developer of all time. Right here, this game.
Yep, they've shown out to be ultra Bethesda. That's what. Yeah. This is like Bethesda's ultra magnum opus for me. Like it just really is. Like what they've done. I can't get enough of it. Yeah, I'll be playing for years and years, and I can't wait for the future of it, bro.
Yeah, neither can I. And if you guys think the discourse is bad now, just wait until Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Oh my God.
Oh boy. Oh, it's gonna be fun time, man. We'll be back here going through the same process times 10 when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Masterpiece. Masterpiece.
I'll call it right now. Elder Scrolls 6 will be a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Lock it.
If it's anything like Starfield, it's going to be a masterpiece.
It's going to be Starfield, and they're going to take everything they learned from Creation Engine doing Starfield, and they're going to bump it up even more. Elder Scrolls, Todd already came out and said it in that interview. He said, we're going to try to make the ultimate fantasy game.
Yeah.
Bring it on, Todd. Bring it on, brother. If you can beat Starfield with an Elder Scrolls, and again, you already get a bonus from me because high fantasy is my favorite genre. If you can beat this, I'm all about it, Bethesda. Bring it on. Got some super chats to get to?
Yeah, we got Alvin with the $10 super chat.
Alvin!
My favorite, my favorite 4 games the past 4 years are Starfield, Chorus, Hades, and amazing. Ghost of Tsushima. 3 are 83 meta and below, and I don't care. I hear you, Pong. Right. Yeah, I don't care about the scores and how they affect me. I do care about the scores and the game getting the respect that I feel like it deserves. And like when I feel like sites or people or whatever are disingenuous and do things for a self gain, and it's at a disservice to something that is deserves a lot more respect and praise about the accomplishments that it's done. I feel like it's like a disservice to gamers, it's a disservice to the industry, it's a disservice to the hobby that we all love, and I find it disrespectful to the hobby of gaming and the passion that I have for it, right? That's why I get riled up about it. It's not about, hey, I don't like that person's opinion. It's about the fact that these people's opinion, whether I think it should or not, has influence over the perception, right?
Yep.
And when somebody like the Dan Stapleton or whoever goes out there and they say the things they do or act the way they do on Twitter or whatever after the fact, right? Yep. And then also try and say, oh, it's just my opinion, right? Well, I get that, but they also know that that's not how the massive audience sees it. They see it as IGN's 7, right? They see it as, and they don't even read their damn review, right? Nope. Most of them don't. Right.
That's mid now.
It's just the reality that we live in. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, right?
It's wrong, but
everybody scores. Yeah, but it's reality that we live in, right? It's just the world we live in. Like games are judged based on scores a lot of times from casual audiences, and a lot of times the first thing somebody does, they go to IGN just to see what it got. Right? They'll go and look at the score. Not read anything. If they're interested, they'll read it. they don't even know who the reviewer is, right?
Nope.
They don't even never.
They don't know his history. They don't know
Dan Stable. They don't even give a shit. That's just That's just the average. Most people, right, do that. And then they they gave it a 7. I'm gonna go check and see what it got on Meta. See if other people. Oh, it's an 83. Yeah, there's a lot of mixed reviews in here. Like, and they'll see the little highlights of the negatives. Oh, tasteless, boring, blah 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 quotes and all these things. And it's a disservice to gamers in the hobby that we love and the passion that we have for gaming, and disrespectful. I feel like when these things are done for self gain, self promotion, self gain for clicks, for profiting off of the ignorance of the readers, basically.
Correct. Yep.
And that's where I have an issue with it. And it is what it is. You know, some people want to seem high and mighty and above being cool or geeking out over a game and all that kind of stuff too. And, you know, we're gamers, right? I'm never above that. Like, it is what it is.
You'll never see me do a professional review.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, no matter what happens here, I will never do reviews. I will give you my impressions through and through, but I could never critique games or say that a game was less fun because some of the things that these people have pointed out in Starfield. I could never do that. Because again, my reviews for the most part would all probably be 8s, 9s, and 10s because I can find fun and those things don't bother me the way that some people claim that it bothers them. Whether or not I believe that all the time, it's a different story. But again, that's why you'll never see me do a full review.
Somebody saying, hey, I think the game's good, I'm going to give it a 9, is just as valuable as somebody that wrote 20 different paragraphs. I did a YouTube short as a joke, right? Like, kind of like, like, hey, here's my in-depth review. It's a 10 out of 10. I love it. That's it, right? Like, that's just as valuable because it's just somebody's opinion versus all these other random words, right? Somebody told me that I don't understand the nuance of reviews and how intricate and all that. Like,
yes.
Like, really? Like, okay, anybody, I understand people are better at writing than others, right? Every single one of us can have different opinions about different aspects of a video game and put those thoughts down on paper. Some are going to be better writers than others, but nobody's opinion over those different things have more value than somebody else's, except for maybe they have more experience playing a lot more games in the history of gaming or something like that. But it doesn't mean that person's right or wrong. It just means that they may have a different perspective, right? So it's like everybody in the chat's opinion is just as valuable as mine, right? Like, it's like we're all just people. Just
as valuable as Dan Stapleton's.
Like, the reviewer, the head reviewer of IGN, or whoever, or GameSpot, and Metro, or Jim Sterling, or they're just people, right? That have taste, preferences, opinions. They just happen to get paid to put them down on paper
and have influence.
And have influence, which is sometimes the shameful thing, especially when somebody's admittedly biased, admittedly hates Xbox, admittedly hates Bethesda, right? Gets weighted on a score that impacts perception, irrelevant of their own site. Like, absolutely horrible system. It should change, but it's not the world.
Certified reviewers, I'm telling you. I've been calling for it for a long time, brother.
I wouldn't certify Dan Stapleton's ass.
I know, right?
Definitely not Jim Sterling. I'll tell you that right now.
That's a whole different beast.
Metro can stay on the fucking trams there in UK. You know, where are the buses? What do they call them in the UK? Tram, bus, subway. God Emperor Sofa King hit us with the
God Emperor
with the membership member for 5 months. Appreciate you. Sofa King says this is what happened to New Vegas.
New Vegas got slandered in the beginning,
but they probably got slandered because it was Obsidian, not Bethesda.
And everybody looked back and said, "Oh,
that's our favorite Fallout."
And you've already seen that happening too, now, as more and more people have played Starfield. That's why I said from the beginning I would love to have seen more reviews in progress, even with 2 weeks that some people had with Starfield. You don't I understand you can get a good grasp of the game, but you don't experience Bethesda games until you're in them and living in that world. Now, maybe your experience is different. Maybe you mainline it like Jaffe did and say, hey, favorite single player game of all time. That's fine, or whatever. That's how you want to experience the game. That's, again, Bethesda games are a sandbox. Do what you want. Play how you want in the sandbox. But for a lot of people, if they continue to play the game after they send their review, I can guarantee you that opinions change. And we saw some of it live. I mean, again, Kind of Funny. Shout out to Kind of Funny. Greg Miller, 3 out of 5. The way that he was expressing himself while playing Starfield, I don't think that's a 3 out of 5 game. That's just me. Like, I don't think that his opinion is a 3 out of 5 anymore after playing Starfield. So, we see that a lot. Did you get the one from Dave? I think Web Dave hit us with a subscriber.
No, I missed that one. Let me see.
It was earlier. He came in with the Sony State of Play slander. So baby steps.
Shoot.
You see that one?
I'm gonna try and find it. Those messages disappear sometimes. Dave, tell me what you said, bro. Somehow I missed it. I'm sorry. Type Dave. Again. I'm
you're still listening. Yeah, if you're still listening, Dave, put it in the regular chat. Bav will grab it. No problem.
Web Dave, a member for a certain amount of months, says State of Play sucked ass.
pretty much.
I don't know. Did you have it? Did you see what it said?
I can't go back far enough anymore to see it. It was pretty early on.
You don't got a super chat or anything. Just type it.
Yeah, just type it. Just type it. Put it in the regular chat. We'll read it.
It's probably pretty close to that, right?
It said, I know it said, it was short. It said baby steps, and he said Sony State of Play something.
I saw that, and I thought I clicked on it and posted it, but I didn't post it here. Damn.
Nah, it's okay. It's okay.
What?
Dave, we love you, brother. Are you still in here? He'll get it to us.
Yeah.
He'll get it to us. Speaking of which, Mav, we can move on from Starfield. We've had our talk. I'm sure we'll be talking about Starfield as the weeks and months go on here and the years go on. I'm sure we'll continue to have stories about Starfield. I know I'm just going to be continuously playing this. I know a lot of great games are coming out, and we're going to talk about some of the stuff that's coming out here. Excuse me, on the show as well. But I'm just not. I'm really, like you said, Mav, like you started off saying, just not interested in playing anything else right now.
Yeah.
And for Grazer, that says it all. Like, I just really don't. I don't have any interest. I know I'm going to miss a lot of great stuff.
I haven't touched Madden since we played. I tried playing it. I'd played 2 minutes of a game, turned it off.
Turned it off.
I have Mortal Kombat's coming out next week. I haven't been thinking about it at all.
Right.
It's weird.
I know. I saw some people got early copies too.
I'm super excited. Well, they had the $119 version that launched today, where you get early.
Okay,
access.
I saw somebody got a physical copy early.
Yeah.
Too.
So I just don't. It's just hard for me to spend that much on a game just for early access, right?
Yeah.
I know all the other stuff you get for it too. It's just, I don't know. Like, Starfield's just got its hooks so much in me, dude. Like, it's weird.
I understand the addiction, brother. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. But we did have Nintendo Direct today and PlayStation State of Play. Do you want to start with the State of Play, or do you want to start with the Nintendo Direct?
Let's start with the State of Play.
All right.
Because Dave had brought it up earlier.
Let's say, yeah. Okay. In honor of Dave, I'll bring it up earlier. We will start with the State of Play today. I watched it. I didn't get to put all my effort into it because it was during work. Obviously, the same with the Nintendo Direct. Nintendo Direct, I even got less of, but I went back and kind of read what they showed off. A lot of cool things in there that came out that are multi-plat too, not just Nintendo stuff. And State of Play, I did pay a little bit more attention to. I was flipping back and forth between Sony, and shout out to the Lords. I had to go see the King David slander, and he was in prime form today.
Oh, he was hilarious today.
Shout out to King David, shout out to Alex, shout out to Cog. Did a great job. But King was on another trip today. So even I got to the point where I was like, King, come on, man. Come on. It's not that bad. But overall, much better than their last State of Play, which isn't saying a whole hell of a lot at all. But they did tell everybody exactly what this was going to be. There was no surprises here. So again, State of Play for me, 6.5, maybe a 7, depending on time of day for me overall. But let's talk about what they showed, Mav. Now, this is not going to be in order. So let's start with some of the highlights here and just get your initial thoughts. It sounds like you did watch it, Mav, so you probably
Yeah.
have a good idea here what we're talking about. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I saw you post this in the DMs too, because the ending screenshot where it says console exclusive until May of 2024.
Which I found that interesting, even that was there. Like,
right?
Usually games don't ever post that, even if it is like a time.
Well,
exclusive.
they did with the original Final Fantasy VII, the remake, right? The first one. They did do that because it was, remember, it was on the actual game itself. Like Square said it themselves.
Not during the announcement.
Not during the announcement. But and what's really strange is this comes out February 29th. Now, they announced the release date, which is huge. And again, not a big Final Fantasy VII fan. I know it's sacrilege. I know. Kill me now. I'd rather play 10 a billion times than I would rather play 7. I do eventually want to play all these remakes. But again, for me, it's not a full game until everything is done, until they wrap this whole thing up and it's complete. And maybe by then we'll have it on Xbox. Maybe even more so because they announced the release date during this trailer. And by the way, the trailer, fantastic trailer. Yeah. Square did their thing again.
A lot of fan service to the original.
Oh, bro. Yeah. I mean, Attic and Cog were just going nuts during this. Rightfully so. If you're a big Final Fantasy VII fan, what they did with the trailer today obviously spoke to your heart, and it showed beautifully. Again, Square, when they're on their game, man, can they cut a trailer? Can they make it just look so epic, like unbelievable? And they did a great job here. But the big thing is they announced February 29th, 2024. And then Mav, to my original point, on the screen, it said console exclusive till at least May. I can't remember the date.
I think
May
it's like
9th?
May 29th, I think.
May 29th. May 20th. That would make sense. 3 months only exclusive on this one. And we know that Phil just had that whole show up on stage with the new Square Enix CEO and shake hands, and Final Fantasy 14 is finally coming, and this is kind of a new era. And like, the CEO of Square, because they just lost $2 billion in value.
Yeah.
Said, we're gonna do more with Xbox. So maybe, man, maybe there's something to this. But man, what'd you think of Final Fantasy VII overall?
I thought it looked great. I loved the first part. I love part 1.
You did play. You did play.
So I'm excited for part 2. I'm excited that we got a release date for it. And I'll probably just go ahead and get it day 1 on PlayStation and play it 3 months early there, right?
Yep. Why not?
But I do feel like there's probably an Xbox release coming for the other, and I feel like the first one would come along for the ride with that, most likely.
Certainly something, and I'm sorry, folks, the flickering is back because I got a white screen up. It's something with the lighting that's doing it to my camera. If I got a black screen up, it doesn't do it. So sorry about that. But
I'm a
deal with it.
Final Fantasy lover from a classic Final Fantasy. But 16 didn't do anything for me as far as the way it looks and stuff. Like it's just not a Final Fantasy game to me. It seems like a different kind of game. But like this Final Fantasy 7, it is hardcore Final Fantasy to me, right? And that's what I'm looking for in Final Fantasy games. So I'm 100% in on this. I'm gonna get it probably day 1, but I am interested in that because, like, in the exclusivity of it, I find it interesting because I think it's a change, right? And there was rumors before that this was only going to be a timed exclusive as well, but they said the same thing about the first one, so I just chalked it up to it is what it is. But then you add the thing about Phil Spencer and the meeting with Square, and the fact that was even on the announcement trailer at the end. It seems like it's some kind of stipulation from Square, because Sony wouldn't decide to put that there, right? Like that
could be a Switch 2 thing too, as well.
Maybe it's possible, but maybe that's a release window for the Switch 2,
right?
And that would work. I don't know. It's a good thought, right? Either way, it's very interesting, right?
It is.
So,
possibilities
are definitely open with that, and
Square needs to do something.
An eye on it.
Square needs to do something. Obviously,
they need to stop doing exclusive games.
They need to stop bleeding. Yeah, they're bleeding heavily. So there's no question about it. And I saw the Defense Force out there. Oh my God, that was funny too. going after all the sites that they love to quote when those sites go against Xbox, like GI Biz and all those sites and IGN. When they go against Xbox, it's all good. But man, the minute they come out with bad news about one of their beloved, and it's not even first party, but again, Sony fans think of Square as like first party, $2 billion in losses. Oh boy, there's no way to spin it. No matter what the reasons behind it, there's no way to spin it. So they got to do something, and getting more games, more places is definitely the road that we all believe is the way to go. Yeah. And Capcom has proven it. Bandai Namco has proven it. It's time for Square. Again, we've talked about it many times. We don't need to go on a Square rant. Square's new CEO seems to get it. Hopefully that's the change of direction they need. And I'd love to see this stuff coming to Xbox for sure.
They really, they made so many bad decisions, right?
So
even
many.
Also going into like decision to let go of Eidos Montreal. Yeah, maybe like and Crystal Dynamics, right? Like I maybe it was for the best, maybe not. I don't know. Embracer Group's really shaky right now, so maybe not for the best, right? But like, how hyped would we all be? Would gamers be if they announced a Guardians of the Galaxy 2, right? Like the first one, like was under the radar because everybody was unsure because of Avengers, right?
Yep.
Everybody's on the fence. Everybody's unsure. They didn't have a good showing originally when they first showed it off, and then the game came out. Everybody's like, "Wow, this is really fucking good," right? And everybody loved it. And that's how you kick off these great franchises and stuff. And the second one, if they had announced it, would have had so much damn hype. It's like, how do you not see that from a business perspective? You had a potential gold mine to do your own huge thing with this other franchise that you nailed with the first one. It's about grabbing the attention from people and growing from there. And they had that with the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Instead, they sold Eidos Montreal and Crystal Dynamics away for pennies on the dollar, because they were costing them too much money. Instead of investing in a game that was going to secure the future of those studios and themselves. Horrible mistakes, time and time again. They sold an Embracer Group for cheap. They leased Crystal Dynamics to Xbox to work on games for Xbox instead of their... Like, what are you doing, Square? And then they let them go. They let them all go. And now they're scrambling 30% down or whatever. 30% down. We've been telling you, you suck at making business decisions for years. We have been talking about on this podcast several different times. Like, how are you doing this? And people are like, "Oh, you're overreacting. What are you talking
Nobody
about?
would buy it on Xbox anyway.
Think you know more than Square. We do when we see their financial reports every single time, and we can predict exactly what's going to happen. Yes. And we called it about Final Fantasy 16 again. We said exactly what was going to happen. And guess what? It fucking happened again, just like we said it was going to. And now what position are they in now, right? Now they're having to say, okay, we're going to just change everything. And we're going to, they got to.
Push comes to shove, you're backed in a corner. You got no choice. You got to try something different, finally. So this is where they're at.
Yep.
Agree wholeheartedly. Alvin hit us with the 15 member for 15 months. Speculators, shout out to you, Alvin, yet again. To be honest, that Rebirth trailer made me moist.
It was good. It was a good trailer.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great trailer. I see a lot of people in there talking about it. It was a great trailer. It really was. And, again, shout out to them, because when they're on point, Square still has a lot to give. And I'm still excited to play Final Fantasy 16 when it finally hits PC. I know nobody cares, but Horizon's coming to PC as the Ultimate Edition too.
Yeah.
I'm one of the people who does enjoy Aloy. I'm one of the people who did enjoy the first one, and so I can't wait to jump into this one on my PC. I really can't.
It's a gorgeous looking game. I'll probably play it on PC also.
Yep.
I didn't buy it for PlayStation, but because of how good the graphics are in it, I really want to see that on my PC. But I'm gonna wait because their ports have been really ass at launch.
Yes, so, absolutely gotta wait.
So I'll wait and make sure they did a good port before I end up getting it.
And also, a quick reminder to everybody who's listening right now, not that any of you care, but maybe one of you does care. Avengers is going to be delisted, I think, at the end of this month. It is on sale on Xbox for the Ultimate Edition. All the skins unlocked, everything for $3.99. as the non-superhero guy. I bought it for $8 when it was on sale. About half a year ago, maybe somewhere around, right around there when they announced that they're going to delist it. Even as a non-superhero fan, the game has fun. I'm not talking about end game stuff. I'm not talking about all the stuff that was promised that's not there. I'm just talking about the main game. The main story is actually really fun. And the graphics are pretty good for $3.99 for everything. Throw it in your backlog, for God's sakes, if you haven't bought it yet. It's one of those games that you could eventually get to. And again, I know the game itself doesn't live on the way it was supposed to, the way that it was set up, what Crystal Dynamics and Square promised, but the main story, the main missions, all that kind of stuff is fun. It actually, honestly, is. And the fact that I can change my characters out the game.
When they shut it down, are they shutting down the ability to play it at all?
Yeah.
Or is it just...
No, you'll still be able to play it, but they're delisting it, so you won't be able to buy it anymore.
Okay, so all the servers are staying up?
Yeah, the servers are supposedly staying up. So, but again, even as a single player game, just to mess around with for $3.99, this is a AAA budget game. I mean, it's still really good for $3.99. I would suggest you pick it up.
It didn't live up to the namesake. You know what I mean? Like, it was a letdown of a game for sure. There's a lot of things. There's
a lot of content there though
that are, they could have done differently or whatever.
Yes.
Like it is still a fun time.
Yes.
I had fun playing it. So
right.
Exactly. I didn't have a blast.
No, but for $3.99, come on. Like again, it is worth it. Again, graphically it's gorgeous.
What did IGN give Avengers?
I don't know. Look it up real quick and find out. See how much more they loved it than Starfield.
Yeah. I bet they gave it a 7.
Yeah.
I mean, rolling the dice on IGN, it's like
right. You know, I know. A 7 or an 8. That's where they're always at. So,
6.
Spider-Man.
They gave it a 6.
They gave it a 6. Ooh, extra critical. Who did the review?
Let me see. IGN rating. Where do I see the rating? Okay, here we go.
At the top.
Tom Marks.
Okay. All right. Cool. Don't know what else you've done, Tom, but 6 out of 10.
Well, let's find out.
I could see it. Spider-Man 2 got a new gameplay trailer today, and I thought this was the best showing they had for Spider-Man. I don't know about you. Again, I'm not interested in Spider-Man 2. Again, I played 2018 and it was good. I understand why people like it, but it's not again, as the non-comic book guy that I don't care about superhero games as much anymore. I really didn't feel the need to keep playing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But I understand why it's so popular. But I thought this was the best showing for Spider-Man 2. And of course, they showed off the deluxe editions and all that kind of stuff. Pre-orders go live here soon. And of course, you got to buy the deluxe if you want all the suits, but they showed off all the suits. Some of the suits were very cool. There's variants within each suit as well. So you can really customize your Spider-Man. I thought it looked great. I thought the gameplay that they showed today looked better. The combat looked better than some of the other stuff they've shown previously. What do you think of Spider-Man 2 there, man?
I actually felt like it kind of got my Spider-Man itch back a little bit.
Cool.
Which hasn't happened yet with this game. This was the best showing for me. Like gameplay wise, it really looked solid. Right.
It did.
So I'm looking forward to playing it. It's October 20th. So maybe that'll be one I do get right away. I wasn't originally planning on it because it was just more Spider-Man, but I love the first Spider-Man. I didn't finish Miles Morales because I felt like it was just more the same, and I wasn't as into the story and stuff. Like, but this one maybe, like with how more expanded it is,
Yep.
I might really get into. So
cool. I thought that's exactly what they did here. Again, as somebody who wasn't not looking forward to it, don't care. I thought it was a great trailer. I thought they did a nice job here. It was better than the gameplay they showed. When was it? Beginning of the year. Springtime, I think it was, right? Their last day to play. When was their last day to play? My God. July? June? Whatever it was. Anyways, I thought they did a great job with Spider-Man 2 here. Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways DLC. Now we start getting into the multi-plat games. So Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways DLC. Again, shout out to Resident Evil 4. Looks gorgeous, looks fun. Eventually, I will jump into the remake and play it because I do want to play it. I played the demo, had a good time with it. It's that borderline horror for me. Again, didn't like Chainsaw Dude chasing me. I wasn't cool with that part. But that is a part of Resident Evils. But I do want to eventually jump into the remake. But the DLC looks fantastic. Mav, any thoughts on the DLC at all?
For which game? Sorry.
Resident Evil 4, the new DLC.
Yeah. No.
Ada Wong, obviously. Ada Wong's the big highlight.
I
looks great.
Gotten Resident Evil 4 remake yet. I'm eventually going to play it when it's like get it on discount cheap, and I'm sure whatever version I get way down the line will probably have this DLC included. Yep. So because I haven't played the main game yet, it was disinterested.
Yep. Nope, I get it. But look good. We got a new look at Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora, which of course is multi-plat coming to Xbox as well. I'm still meh on this game. There's parts of it that looks gorgeous. There's things about it that I do like where I go, yeah, Far Cry, Avatar, because I do. Again, I'm one of the people that is a big fan of Avatar, at least the first movie. I haven't watched the new one yet. But there's other parts where I go, what are we doing, Ubisoft? What are we doing here? What is this? What did you think of Avatar, new showing?
Looks okay. It's a
December
game
7th, by the way.
I'm not similar to what happened like with Guardians, right? Like I just brought up. I'm not gonna really be able to judge this game until I get my hands on it.
Right.
I feel like there's just something about this game that I have no clue. I'm kind of like, is it going to be great? Is it going to be just okay? Is it going to be average?
Is this something day one for you, Mav, or is this something you're going to wait?
When is it? It's December?
December 7th.
Yeah. So what I think is what I'm planning on, because what day is Assassin's Creed Mirage?
That's coming here, right?
That's like a couple weeks, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I forget all these dates now because we have so many games.
Yeah. So what I want to do, because Ubisoft finally has a slate of games.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
We just had Crew Motorfest.
I was just gonna say.
People are loving it.
October 5th for Mirage.
Motorfest is a complete Horizon ripoff. However, it can still be a good, fun game and be that.
People are saying they're having fun. Yeah.
Right. So like I played the in one of the insider betas and I had fun with it. It was a blatant ripoff, which I've said numerous times, but it was still fun and solid, and there is enough different there to still make it worth playing, right? So, like, I will probably want to try more of that.
Yep.
I'm going to want to play Mirage. I'm going to want to play, try Avatar as well.
Yep.
And is there anything else this year from Ubisoft?
No.
Avatar, Mirage. Crew Motorfest.
We don't know about Heartland, and Skull and Bones lost another creative director.
And I do want to go back and play Anno 1800 also, that I've been waiting on.
I got to get back to that. So
what my plan is, sometime this holiday season, fallish, I'm going to do Ubisoft Plus.
Yep, makes sense.
And then I'll cancel it and buy those games when they're $5 on a Ubisoft sale in the storefront, 90% off.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that's what my plan is.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Ubisoft Plus for like 3 months, 4 months, whatever. Pay the price I would have paid for one of those games. Play them all for a few months, and then 4 months, 5 months later, when they're cheaper, I'll buy them all for crazy low price. That's my Ubisoft plan. That's what I'm going to do going forward.
Agreed.
Instead of spending $300 on all of them, it just makes.
Did you see any of this trailer that got you any more excited, or was it just an okay trailer for you?
Sorry, which game are we talking about?
Avatar. You went off on a Ubisoft tangent. Avatar.
Sorry, yeah.
Avatar Frontier. We got the new trailer today, where they did show more of the story elements to it, as well as some of the combat.
I was too busy laughing at King David to actually take any of the story in, right? Yeah. But the game, the story is just like, I'm gonna completely go into it blind and then see if the game grabs me with it.
Right.
Like the Avatar, I like Avatar. I like the movies, right? But like, I'm not like super invested into Avatar. I don't have like a deep caring for Avatar like I do some other stuff like Marvel or like, some other stuff out there. So it's like, the IP doesn't excite me as much as other things. But can it have a great story and hook me? I'm more excited about the sandbox style gameplay than anything.
Yeah,
you know,
I just like that Far Cry play. Yeah,
I just like Far Cry style sandbox games. You know,
so do I.
So
do I.
Give me that.
My fast food
with the jumping on trees with bows and arrows, and looks like it could be a good time.
Yep, I agree. But again, I'm not excited for it. It's just like, okay, well, we'll see how it plays and we'll go from there. But I'll eventually jump into Ubisoft Plus too, probably sometime next year, and check out the games that I'm missing. I really do want Mirage. But again, Starfield has got me, and I got so many other games that I want to jump back into. So I think next year I'm going to try Ubisoft Plus for a month and see those games, and then decide what I want to buy. Just like you.
Yeah. Star Wars Outlaws is probably the one next year that comes out. I'm just buying that day one.
That's day one. I'm locked in unless I see something that really screws up my hype for Star Wars Outlaws. Like, day one for me, I'll buy that full price. Dude, I can't wait to see Outlaws. Look so
Pong,
good.
I know your Star Wars stuff,
nope,
right? And
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
Dude,
I know where you're going.
Ahsoka is
so good. I don't care. I don't care about Ahsoka. I never liked her as a character. I care less.
It's not just that, like, there's so much other stuff here.
I don't care. It's Disney-fied. I don't care. I'm done.
So good, Pong.
I'm done giving my energy to any of it. I don't care anymore. Again, I'm happy for everybody who is loving it. I've been hearing it. I've been seeing the clips. There are parts of it that look really cool, but then there are other parts I'm like, nope, this is Disney. It's Disney. They did it again. So again, until they are willing to dive into the dark side, I don't give a shit about what they do. So that's just me. And again, Ahsoka as a character just never did anything for me. Another whiny kid that I never liked. I have a problem with whiny kids, Mav. I have a problem with whiny kids.
Definitely not a whiny kid in this show. Just saying.
I don't care. It ruined it for me as a character. I just never fell in love with Ahsoka. I just never did. And again, bringing back Anakin and all this kind of stuff is like, yeah, great. Thanks, Disney. Appreciate you. That's wonderful. You've already ruined it for me. So, again, I'm not hating because I'm not hating because I'm happy that people are getting some actual quality Star Wars stuff that they can say that they actually do enjoy. It's just for me, I've pushed it aside. I've had too many disappointments. And I've got too many other problems with it that I've just pushed it off to the side and said, nope, I've got my old stuff. I will continue to love my old stuff, and I will continue to love Rogue One. And that's the final. That's where I cut it off at.
Right. But the video games, you're like all in.
Yeah, video games I'm all about. Yeah. Video games. Again, Star Wars Outlaw. Do we need the little cute critter? No, we don't. I'm done with that. That's Disney. That again, they have to have one with everybody. Nyx, shout out to Nyx, that we don't need that. But again, the rest of it, the attitude she has, the Han Solo type, all that's all cool. Plus it's set during that original trilogy era, which I'm all about. So that's why I want it. So I'm hyped for Outlaws. All right, then we got hardware announcements. No, they did not announce the Slim, much rumored Slim that everybody's expecting at any time now. They did not do that. And the way they started showing this, Mav, I thought they were actually opening up a design labs. And I know Iron Lord said it too. Cog said it right away too. It looked like you were going to do custom controllers. No.
A red one, a blue one, a gray one.
They announced the Deep Earth collection, Mav. The Deep Earth collection. That's right. Blue, which looked nice color blue, silver, which is kind of a metallic silver, which is awesome, kind of a chrome. I thought it was really going to go chrome the way they were showing it off.
When they showed it later, it looked more just gray.
Yeah, it looks more gray, but I think it does have a sheen to it, but maybe I'm wrong. But they actually made a real red for a change, not a pink, which everybody likes to say is red, but an actual deep red, which actually looks good. So they've got 3 new controllers, colored controllers, and the face plates, the matching face plates to go along with them. So shout out to Sony, Deep Earth Collection. Yay. Bennett Foddy's next game, Baby Steps. For anybody who doesn't know Bennett Foddy, I don't blame you. He's an indie developer, much loved in the Steam community. We've seen Baby Steps before, Mav. It's where you control the weird dude and every movement of his, you control like his limbs. I think y'all like Human Fall Flat and those type of games. Baby Steps was showing here. Published by Devolver Digital. Shout out to Devolver. Devolver don't miss. But
weird ass way to start the show.
Yes, and this did lead off the show, which is
I was shocked. I was like, really? And we've seen this game once before, and it's fun. It looks funny or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't usually like games like that. Like Party Animals is going to be sort of similar, also, like with how you control the limbs and stuff. But like I find it interesting. I might play it at some point if I get access to it for free or whatever. But like, it was crazy seeing that start the show, because it was just like, what the hell is this, right? Like, what are we watching right now? When the show started. So yeah. Maybe it was that in the middle for a little relief.
Yeah, it wasn't a great start. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Oh, and I did forget to, by the way, folks, sorry, I forgot that Resident Evil 4, the VR2 version, is coming winter of this year. I forgot.
Besides the last two games, the whole show was shit. I mean, there was Helldivers, cool, but like,
but we're getting that. Tales of Arise DLC looked great, which I want to get Tales of Arise eventually too. But yeah, we're getting there.
As a state of play, though, like everything else, like okay, right, like I agree. Stuff that didn't even need to be at a show, right? Period. Right.
I agree. A lot of this stuff, a lot of this stuff could have been blog posts.
Yep.
Again, you're absolutely correct. Roblox for PS4. Speaking of, Roblox is finally coming to PS4, October 10th. All the Roblox fans, again, I laugh, I chuckle, but I know millions upon millions. It's been a huge...
My daughter's obsessed.
Yes, it's been a huge console exclusive for Xbox forever because they have never made a PlayStation version. PlayStation 4 is finally getting it on October 10th, so it will no longer be an Xbox exclusive. Roblox is now coming. They made a big deal out of that.
That is a big deal. It's a crazy popular game. Like Roblox, Minecraft, and Fortnite, right? It's a trifecta for like kids, pretty much, for the popularity. And Roblox might be more popular than any of them. I don't know. Like Roblox has a lot of people playing, dude.
It does.
I got some issues with Roblox. It's a little bit of a Wild West out there for like.
There's some naughty stuff out there.
For parents, I would advise pay attention to what your kids are doing and playing in Roblox. And who they're
innocent things in Roblox are not so innocent.
And some of the practices with trying to take advantage of purchases and stuff like that is very underhanded with that game too. A lot of getcha moments and stuff like. So pay attention if your kids are playing Roblox. Don't just trust them, especially if they're younger and don't understand a lot of things, right?
Why so serious? As Roblox has now got a dating app now. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
As weird as that is, it does.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It's a crazy world in Roblox, right?
Oh my God, FARQ and all the rest of you saying that Baby Steps is Dreamcast Guy Simulator. Jesus.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Ghostbusters Rise of the Ghost Lord is out next month for PSVR 2. Again, pushing the VR2 stuff. I saw some PlayStation dudes yet again pumping that VR2 stuff is exclusive and it counts. Again, if you gotta pay $500 to play it extra.
The 1%ers of PlayStation. Let's go.
Yeah. And then of course FARQ comes in here with Dreamcast Guy name change, of course. Shout out to you. And then we did get the good one. I know King David was making fun of it. This is when I was like, come on, King. Come on, man. I know it's PlayStation, but come on, man. Helldivers 2. Yeah. They showed off more gameplay and announced a delay. It will be coming out in February of 2024. It was supposed to be out this year. So another game not coming to PlayStation this year, which is another hit to them.
There was another one absent from this show as well, Pong.
Yeah. Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade, which there's smoke out there that Stellar Blade, when Sony bought in, was not up to par and was not good. I'm excited for Stellar Blade. I want to play Stellar Blade. I want it to come to PC. I will play Stellar Blade. It's my type of game. But there was smoke that it wasn't in great shape. And the way that they're not showing it, Mav, says that they told the devs to go back to the kitchen and keep cooking.
Yeah. How has there not been more backlash against Sony first party this year?
Because Mav, because man, they're giving a free pass. They got the hall passes lined
It's
up, man.
crazy.
Because of their run during PlayStation 4, they have hall passes lined up. And are they eating them up? Yeah, they're eating them up because I've seen more and more people say it's not a good year for Sony. But at the same time, they're just giving a pass because supposedly everybody's still playing God of War. Supposedly everybody's out here playing Baldur's Gate 3. Supposedly everybody's got plenty of games to play, even if they're not first party games, even though for Xbox that was never good enough. It's just different over there, man. They got their own thing going, man, and they're all excused. So I don't know.
At least
it's not good.
Couple months coming up, you know, between
Yeah.
Spider-Man and
but without Helldivers 2 coming out too, which is
Yeah.
another first party published game moving out of this year. I gotta say though, the trailer, they showed off more gameplay, Mav. Look cool as shit.
yeah,
This is a game
I
I
was
can see
into
you
it.
and I playing, rocking out on PC because it is coming to PC for sure.
Mhm.
Steel, I know, is even interested in this one as well. Third person shooter, obviously, you know, Steel. He's
Yeah.
all about that. The customization, Steel's got to be loving it right now. I haven't talked to him in the DMs, but they did a great job there. This game looks like Helldivers that we liked on PlayStation 4 that we actually played, but they just took it to that new viewpoint, and it looks like they've done a great job, but same kind of crazy action. I don't know if you saw, Matt, there was a dude with a rocket launcher, and the partner comes over and helps reload the rocket launcher, like in real life. A lot of cool stuff here.
Yeah, I'll be definitely getting that on PC.
Yep,
for sure. I wish it had cross-buy.
Right?
Crossplay.
The other thing about Starfield, man, outside of the syncing, which can take a while depending on how many saves you have, and that I save scum, so I got a lot of saves, so it takes longer than the average person. But just outside of that syncing process, the ability to go back and forth between my Series X and PC with Starfield is second to none. Now that I'm finally experiencing that, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
it works awesome. It's such a great feature, man.
Mm-hmm.
Helldivers 2. So next year, that was supposed to be this year. It will be February of next year, February 8th, 2024. Then we got another look at Foam Stars, Mav, the game that people behind the scenes are starting to say is actually pretty damn good. Like, they obviously just ripped off Splatoon, like, obviously, but people are saying that it actually plays really well. I can't get excited for it. I've never been excited for Splatoon. I won't get excited for Foam Stars. Shout out to Square for trying it.
It's not free to play either.
No.
Or is it? Fuck this game. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yep.
You would maybe get me to try it if it was free. I'm not going to pay $60, $70 to go spray foam at people. Like, if I wanted to play that game, I would play Splatoon. Like, it already exists. I hate when games just blatantly, like, I get it. I get, like,
you have to.
Inspired and new genres and all that kind of stuff, right? But then there's like,
oh yeah, this is
blatant. Like,
I can't
blatantly copycat with a different skin on it. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it looks like.
Yep, they announced 2 modes and they announced the open beta September 29th through October 1st. So anybody with PlayStation 5 that does want to jump into Foam Stars, got your chance. Open beta. They're gonna have 2 different modes in the beta. So there you go.
Yeah, get the foam party package.
Get the foam party pack. As I said before, Tales of Arise DLC coming. New expansion in November. 2 years after it launched, Tales of Arise is a beautiful game. I played the demo. Anime JRPG, action-based. It is so damn cool. Steele got bored with it after 40 hours, I think, or something like that. Maybe not even that long. He got bored with it, dropped off of it, but he did like certain aspects of it. I played the demo, loved the hell out of it. I want to play it. It's always going on sale now. Bandai Namco special. It is a gorgeous game. The fact that they're expanding it means that it's sold really well. So shout out to Bandai. You know, again, coming through with another good game, really good RPG. So
actually, I own it. I played quite a I played several hours. And I kind of lost interest. I'm gonna get back into it at some point. The story seems cool so far.
Yeah.
I had the same issue with the last Dragon Quest, with the way the environment is with the world. There's something about those games that I don't really like the zones, you know, that they put you in. Like,
interesting.
I don't know.
Serve, I don't know which one, where you're at listening to us, but either Foam Stars, which is the blatant Splatoon 3 ripoff that we were just talking, or Splatoon ripoff, I should just say. That what we were talking about with the open beta, September 29th through the October 1st, or we just finished out with Tales of Arise, getting an expansion in November. So that was Tales of Arise. It was the JRPG action-based anime.
Yeah.
It's
a good
gorgeous
game. It's a good
game.
My
It was launched 2 years ago.
It's got like a lot of 9s and stuff. I think it got like really high praise. I like the game I played so far. It just whatever wasn't clicking with my mood at the time.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, again, it happens to the best of us. So I still got to get back to Persona 5 for God's sakes. Jesus, man, I got so many games. It's not even funny. It is ridiculous. It's never going to end. It never will. So that was your state of play, the super secret special showcase that was supposed to happen. Doesn't look like that's going to happen this year. Sony, for me, again, I'd give this show like a 6, just on the back of what Spider-Man 2 and Final Fantasy 7 showed. I give it like a 6.5, probably somewhere in that neighborhood. Again, I don't compare them to anything else. Yeah. They didn't set a high bar with the last one. I saw some Sony fans that were really happy, really excited with the state of play. That's all that really matters, because that's what these state of plays are for. Did they sell me on needing a PlayStation 5? Nope. I will continue to say I will play, PS5 games as they come to PC, the ones that I do want to play. Now that they are making these games available on PC, I'll just wait. I don't have a problem waiting. I'm not that dude. I don't have FOMO. But overall, the PlayStation fans seem to be more happy with this one than obviously the last one. So, they probably did their job, but they're in the reloading stage, Mav. There's no question, right? Again, we've been saying this for a long time. Sony fans have been hoping that there's some super secret games that they've been making for the past 5 years that nobody knows about. They're going to be ready to launch in the next, year or so. That's just, I don't see it now. They're reloading, man.
Yeah. It's definitely where they're at. I mean,
it was due. They're due.
Their year for 2022 or 2023, like, just been really, 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 really lackluster.
Again, 11 months from the time God of War launched till when Spider-Man 2 launches. 11 months. And like Mav was saying earlier, Xbox got crucified. So
last year was a bloodbath for Xbox, right? Like, and we were critical of them too. Like, I haven't touched my PlayStation in months.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on in the storefront or anything, because I play it for exclusives. And there hasn't been a good one for me to be interested in, actually, besides honestly, the only exclusive that I've been interested in this generation, as far as like first party, have been Gran Turismo and Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I lost interest in that. I want to finish it now just because I'm sure the story is going to pick up for this. Of course. And then I like some of the little quirky ones like Over Tactics and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. It's just been sitting there.
I get it. There's no reason. I mean, again, it's fine. Again, I'm gonna say they had a terrible year first party wise. Yes, they got one big game, and it is a giant game, and that's better than what Xbox had last year. Just from the simple fact that Spider-Man 2 is actual AAA huge first party title. But the other fact is that they had an awful year in terms of what Sony normally does, and it's not unexpected. Again, anybody that's outside of the bubble saw this coming. Again, I've been talking about them going into reload mode for a long time now.
Yeah.
Because you can only produce so much, and they've got a lot of studios, but they don't have the number of studios that Xbox has. And God help them if they didn't buy Insomniac, because Insomniac has been carrying them for the past 2 years. Yeah. So without Insomniac, they would be in a tough spot.
Yeah, I was also hoping to see another game, like at least one surprise third-party game or something, but they said games we already know about, so I kind of chalked that up out the window. But they did have that Rise of the Ronin announced before last year. I was hoping we might see that again, because it would be about time to see another appearance of that game. It
That
didn't
game looks
show
really
up.
cool too.
It does. That game is on my radar, like big
Yep.
time. So I was hoping maybe we would see that show up, but instead it was a lot of predictable stuff. And the up and like Helldivers was the one like small saving grace in the first 3/4 of that show. If you were to take that as it was, the first 75% of that showcase was just like worthless to me. Like Helldivers was the only little highlight there. And then the last two things were awesome because they're big, giant, awesome games that are coming. Whether you like them or not, or excited for them or not, they are big games, and there's a lot of people looking forward to that stuff. So they say the saving grace that they had those two games to show. But been a bonus also, we actually got the release date for Rebirth, right?
Correct.
So,
yep.
And it's coming in like 5 months. So
February. Yep. We're all good.
Like, yeah, a solid 5 months coming ahead. Shitty last 12 months.
Yeah. Yes. 100% accurate. Nintendo, man. Nintendo and Sony on the same day. What are the odds that those two picked out the same day?
It's almost like they've done this before.
Yeah, and Nintendo is the opposite of Sony right now. They are launching everything they have in preparation for the Switch 2 announcement. I can see this a mile away. Yeah. Like Nintendo is dropping every game that they've been working on over the past 5 years, like in this year. Like the past 12 months, or I say the past 6 months, and the next 6 months for Nintendo are pretty crazy if you're a Nintendo fan. Again, not this guy here, but again, that doesn't mean that I hate. The fact that Nintendo is just pumping out game after game, first party wise, and some of the third party stuff is absolutely incredible. Because we'll start here, Mav. Nintendo Direct today. They're launching another game that people have been calling as far as the Mario franchise to come back to, and that's Paper Mario 1000-Year Door HD. Listen, people have been calling for Paper Mario to come back. They're giving the fans what they want. I got to give them hats off to Nintendo. So Paper Mario's coming back. It's a beloved part of the Mario franchise that people wish they would go do more. Some people think that Paper Mario is their favorite Mario of all time. So we already got Mario RPG coming back, which is fantastic. Some people think that that's the best JRPG ever made. And then obviously you got the brand new 2D Mario this year and Mario Wonder. So,
and you also have Luigi's Mansion.
You got Luigi's Mansion as well. Another fan favorite. Talk about fan service. Nintendo knows how to do it.
Mario
they just don't
Donkey
do it all
Kong
the time.
Too. There's a lot of Mario shit.
Yeah. Like I said, they're dropping everything. Like I know Switch 2's coming. We all know Switch 2's coming.
Yeah.
They're dropping everything they have like recently. Like it's awesome to see for Nintendo fans. So Paper Mario 1000-Year Door HD announced. It's coming back. Great stuff there. Mav, jump in anytime you want to. Again, neither one of us. You're a big Nintendo fan, but you don't like what they're doing now. So if you got anything to say, Mario versus Donkey Kong remake coming to Nintendo Switch on February 16th, like you just said. Another great game that people love. F-Zero, a franchise that people finally had given in and sworn that Nintendo had just decided that it was dead, Mav. F-Zero is being brought back into a 99-person battle royale mode. So F-Zero 99 announced and shadow dropped today for all the Nintendo fans out there. Hey, shout out to Nintendo doing some online stuff.
I hope they just do more with F-Zero than this.
Yes,
that's all
I know this is not what people wanted.
That's
but
not what
it's still
want,
funny that it's still funny that they dropped it, right? Princess Peach, the new Princess Peach game, Showtime, gets its March release date today as well. Shout out to Princess Peach, March 22, 2024. That got announced. Now, this next one, Mav, this got me excited. This got me excited because it's not just coming to Switch. It's coming everywhere. The nostalgia kicked in. I'm going to be picking this up 1,000% and going back and replaying Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remastered. Again, would I like for them to do more with these, of course. But the fact that they're bringing them up to speed, just not changing anything, because I like the old Lara Croft look. I still, like that, how it looked back in the day on PlayStation 1 and such.
Tomb
Raider 1,
like
2, and 3 remasters.
Triangle boobies.
Triangle boobies, but they're now rounded off, sir. They're now rounding them off. So they are doing a little bit of work here, but the fact that we go black.
The pyramids.
Yes, playing the old puzzles again, Mav, right? Even the frustrating ones. That's what Tomb Raider was to me. That's what it was always about. When they went away from it, made an action game. I still liked them. I still liked Lara Croft, but not as much as the actual Tomb Raider stuff. So Tomb Raider 1, 2, and 3 remasters announced February 14th, 2024. It's coming. Updated visuals coming everywhere. Mav, you excited for 1, 2, and 3 coming back?
Yeah. Did they say the price?
They did not announce the price that I've seen yet. No.
For me, it's going to be dependent on the price. I did like the first two Tomb Raider games quite a bit, especially the first one.
Yeah.
So it just depends on the price, and then I'll have fun going around doing those dungeons and stuff, exploring.
They're also expanding and adding some secret levels too.
I'm wondering mechanically if there's any improvements. I hope so, because those games wouldn't necessarily hold up like very well.
No, they had the old tank. They had a lot of the tank controls from Resident Evil, right? So yeah.
So we'll see.
But
I'm interested in it. I just want to know more, right?
Yep. Nope. I understand completely, but man, I saw Lara up there and I was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
And it wasn't the new Lara. I'm like, "Excuse me, what are we doing here?"
Cool to.
Yes.
I like when they enhance old games, right?
Yes.
Just game preservation and all that. I just hope they did a lot to it.
Yep, and we'll find out. But excited for that one. Then, like you said, Mav, as well, Luigi's Mansion 2 HD out next summer. Again, lots of fans of Luigi's Mansion, so shout out to all of them. They're getting what they want. Nintendo's live service game, they've got a couple of them for people who don't understand that, but Splatoon 3 is a live service game. They announced the new DLC Side Order, which gets new gameplay trailer and spring 20. I guess this was already announced, but they announced the spring 2024 release window, gave a new gameplay trailer. We're just talking about Splatoon. Shout out to Splatoon. Shout out to Mr. Joanna Dark, who says it's the best third-person shooter ever created.
It is a fun game. I played Splatoon 1 and I played some of Splatoon 2, and it is kind of fun. But I don't like play. I never played a lot of it because wasn't that much fun.
No, and it's
Right.
Nintendo Online. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, hopefully Switch 2, they come up a little bit, a few years, and their online stuff. We'll see. A game that for some reason was divisive when it was shown, and I thought it looked freaking great. It's not a franchise I'm in love with, but it's certainly a franchise I play. But people just hate. I don't know why this became divisive when it was first shown, but they showed off another look at Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown. I think it looks cool as shit.
I think it looks great too. I can't wait for that game. It's gonna be awesome. That's another Ubisoft game for this year, though, right?
Yes.
Or is that next year?
No, January 18th.
Okay. Ubisoft finally got a collection of games coming, man.
Yep, they do.
Pretty sweet.
Ubisoft Plus is going to be a good deal here eventually.
Yeah.
Super Mario RPG. We were just talking about that in the beginning. Got a gameplay trailer. Again,
looks
if
great.
You're a Mario fan, it looks great. I had a lot of friends back in the day who begged me to play it. I'm like, that's when I had lost interest already. I was like, nope. They're like, but you love JRPGs. You got to play Mario RPG. It's freaking fantastic. It's one of the best. Like, I have zero interest in Mario. I have zero interest in Princess Peach. I have zero interest in any of that world anymore. No, but the fact that it is coming is awesome. And so many people are excited for this, and it does look really good. So shout out to them. That's November 17th for anybody who missed it as well. Nintendo's having a stellar year, by the way. Stellar year.
Yeah.
They're just killing it with their games. Trombone Champ is coming to Nintendo Switch.
It's today, actually. It
Rhythm
launched
based.
today.
Did it drop today?
I actually like.
Your Joy-Con's IR motion sensor works too.
I'm thinking about actually trying this game.
Oh, Mav, after all your Nintendo rants, you're telling me Trombone Champ is the one.
I played a little trombone in high school, so I was a baritone.
You're killing me. You just got me to snort. You're absolutely killing me right now. Really?
I was a baritone euphonium player, right? And like, it has
chat. Are you hearing this shit? You guys have been here.
It has the same mouthpiece as trombone.
Pause.
Right.
Yep.
So
pause.
You can play if you can play a baritone euphonium, you can play a trombone. You just got to learn the slide positions. Okay. Whatever.
Yes, that was a snort. Why so serious? Mav got me to snort. Yes.
There's like rhythm games. Like remember Boom Boom Rocket on 360 Live Arcade. And
yes.
I like rhythm games. Okay. I'll say it. I like rhythm games. Now this is like, hey, take something that's kind of semi-personal to me, and then add the rhythm game mechanic with some of these classic corny ass songs. And I found it hilarious though, because like they were off key and it was really actually matching the note off key with it. So it was like, dude, and you could do it with multiple people. It sounded hilarious. I don't know. I kind of want to make trombone music on a Switch. I'm sure you do something with it.
You want to make bone music? I get it. Masshole and OCD.
Vampire Survivors.
Masshole and OCD has got it right. I was waiting for this one time at band camp story to start. That's correct.
I didn't ever go to band camp. It was just in band.
I'm not game shaving. I'm not game shaving Calorie. I'm not Calorie. I'm not game shaving. I just gotta laugh that this is the game. Like again, you guys have been here for Mav's epic rants on this show. He's done Mavcasts where he's gone on hour-long rants about Nintendo. Out of all the games on the list, all these great games that we just talked about that people love, the last one I thought we were actually going to have a conversation about, where Mav goes, no, I'm actually thinking about trying that one. That was Trombone Champ. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I gotta say, so I like had this lost skill. Like I was good. I was like all region and stuff. Like I was like,
what?
I was like,
you Leonard and trombone?
No, and euphonium. Euphonium.
Oh, euphonium. Okay,
yeah,
all right.
But it's the same mouthpiece, so I can play a trombone.
Jesus Christ.
Right? Like
I'm saying mouthpiece.
So like it was like all region, all this stuff. It's like super competitive. First chair in high school, all these things, like, and then I gave up on it, and like I'm not gonna go buy a fucking euphonium now. What am I gonna do with it? Like it's a wasted skill. I wasted 7 years of my life becoming a master at playing this instrument.
It's killing me the longer this goes.
And now maybe I can relive my glory days and my peak on a Switch by nailing the notes with the trombone game.
With the bone in your mouthpiece. You got the perfect mouth for a bone.
If I ever get a euphonium, I will play it on stream, but I will be rusty.
You heard it here, folks. If you were expecting Mav to be streaming Starfield and continuing his Starfield adventures, that's not going to happen. You're going to be seeing him play Trombone Champ. That's his new game. Bro.
How much is
this conversation is complete. I had no idea we were going to be having a conversation.
I was laughing. I saw that. I was like laughing. I was like, oh my God, this is so funny. I got to try this.
Here you go, everybody. High praise for a Nintendo game from Mav, and it's not what you ever thought it would be. Trombone Champ has piqued his interest. This is interesting. All right, everybody. All right. Anything more about Trombone Champ? Is there anything certain about Trombone Champ that really caught you there, Mav?
It's just, they really nailed the simulation experience. So
is it the me faces that really do it, that give it the realism? It was
a combination of the me faces, the fact that like they were like sharp and flat on the notes a lot, and like it was like you could tell, and they were just missing on the notes, and it sounded like it would if somebody was horribly.
Are you going to use the Joy-Cons? Are you going to actually do it?
You
got to live stream this now.
No, I don't.
If you do pick up this game, you got to be live with the Joy-Cons. You got to be.
I think he was just they were doing this with the Joy-Cons, which is like really a trombone. You
didn't hear me. You didn't hear me. The Switch version of the Trombone Champ will take advantage of the gyro controls, or you can use the Joy-Con IR motion sensor to play the game.
Yeah, I know that, but it looked like they were just doing this, right? Like,
Well, that looks like something different.
it looked like they're, but like really a trombone is like, you have like different.
Yes, I know. You got
right?
you got the slide. That's what I was doing. Yeah.
So like that's how that's
You're putting something in your mouth. That's what it looks like.
Vibrato like this a little bit, like.
Oh my god, you have to do this live, bro. If you do jump in, you got to do it live. I got to see this stream. Oh, you will have a big stream.
I had to do it. I'll play trombone. I'll do it.
Trombone Champ coming soon. Live. Oh god, this is gonna be good, folks. Get the clips ready, everybody. Get the clips ready. This is gonna be classic. All right. Can we move on from Trombone Champ, or is there something more you would like to talk about there?
My game of the show.
Game of the show. Could be game of the year. Could be game of the generation for Matt, the way he's talking right now.
Why is if I say this weird, quirky little game intrigues me, is it a problem?
It's the most random thing we've had on the show in a long ass time, and we got a lot of random things. But again, when I was going through the list, I never would have put $1 on that game being the one that you were expecting, that we were going to have a conversation about, that you were kind of excited for. Again, hats off to you. I just want to see it live. Okay. I do. I got to see it live.
Fine. I'll have to go get my Switch dock and all that stuff and hook it up and play it on stream. Fine.
Caitlin says, looks like y'all played with the balls and tugging on the D. Exactly, Caitlin.
It's not what I was doing. I wasn't doing this. I was doing this.
Yes, we're still talking about games. Why so serious? Trombone Champ coming, and Mav's excited, so we might get a stream out of him about this. This is going to be fantastic. All right. The absolute PC darling right now in the PC world, an indie game, which I actually looked at on Steam, and it does look kind of fun. Again, Starfield is beyond right now, so I'm not looking at anything else. But Dave the Diver is coming to the Switch. This is a big one. October the 26th. I did not see if this was announced for everywhere else. Did they announce it that it was coming everywhere else too? I'm assuming. Dave the Diver has been a huge hit on Steam. Lots of streamers doing Dave the Diver. Let me see if it got announced for anything else. Yeah. Let's see.
Dave the Diver.
Is it already out? Did it already come out?
What do you do in Dave the Diver?
It's like this fishing RPG survival type game. You're like, and then and then cooking as well. You got to cook. So you go catch the fish and go catch the stuff, and then you cook with it too. Okay. Like it's just like it's like one of those quirky games that like everybody. I don't know, man. You have to watch some streams of it to get. It's not like it's it's a good looking game too. And he's under the radar. It's kind of beautiful. It's older style graphics, but it looks cool. I mean, again, it's just one of those things.
Okay.
So Dave the Diver, Switch next month. Mario Kart 8, the other games as a service that Nintendo does have, and yes, Mario Kart absolutely is a games as a service. Gets the booster course pass. Yes, they sell passes. They've been selling passes. Funny how people ignore that Nintendo have games as a service as well. But that's the new DLC coming out this holiday. New racers Diddy Kong, Funky Kong, Pauline, and Peachette are all coming to Mario Kart 8. Shout out to Mario Kart 8. Just keeps chugging right along, selling millions upon millions. Detective Pikachu returns in a new cinematic trailer. Shout out to get a game nobody ever thought was going to happen. And Nintendo dropping that. That comes out on October 6th. So they gave that a new cinematic trailer as well. Then they gave some Amiibo updates, of course, because they continue to sell Amiibo. Shout out to Boom, who single-handedly has been buying every single Amiibo ever. That guy is ridiculous. Amiibo updates for Tears of the Kingdom, Smash Ultimate, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Shout out to all you Amiibo collectors. I know you guys are excited about that. Horizon Chase 2 came shadow drop today, available on the Switch. It was originally released on PlayStation, PC, and Xbox and mobile devices. Horizon Chase 2 is finally out on the Nintendo Switch. Don't know who was waiting on that, but maybe somebody was. Another code, Recollection, announced. Another code, Recollection, is a new compilation that features another Code 2 memories aka Trace Memory, and the sequel, Another Code R. The latter marks the first time the game is releasing in the North American region. So shout out to the Another Code fans out there getting their game. Sega Emerald Beyond arrives next year. This is Square Enix game, another one of those smaller RPG. This is a sci-fi franchise. Sega has been around. It's Sega, like S-A-G-A, not like Sega, like S-E-G-A, but Sega. It's been around for quite a while. It's been kind of a ever-evolving kind of series of different RPGs, but this is a sci-fi fantasy RPG. And it is coming out next year. So that will be a new JRPG. Then this one, Mav, we got to stop on this one. This is a game for you and I, sir.
Oh, I know where you're going with this one. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
Is it Unicorn Overlord?
Unicorn Overlord, brother.
Yeah.
When I saw the animation, I was like, is that Vanillaware? Again, you will hear me talk about Vanillaware. Vanillaware is fantastic. Anybody who has played Vanillaware games, especially like Dragon's Crown, one of the best side-scrolling RPGs, hands down one of the most beautiful games, period, ever create, because they do hand-drawn animations for their games. They are another level. Vanillaware has not done anything in a while. They are published by Atlus. Xbox's new best friends, Atlus. That's right, folks. I saw this game. I'm like, is this Vanillaware? And then I saw it was. And I saw Atlus publishing. And I'm like, oh, please, God. Because this is not going to be an action RPG. So some of you are turning off right now.
Yeah.
I understand.
Tactics.
For me and Mav, tactics, turn-based RPG that looks gorgeous. Mav, and it was announced at the Nintendo Direct, but then came out that it is also coming to PlayStation, also coming to Xbox. Thank you, God. And no, it's not coming to PC because Vanillaware does not put their games on PC for whatever reason. But we are getting a game on Xbox because of our new best friends, Atlus. Thanks to Phil, thanks to Sarah, thanks to everybody at Sega that worked on these deals. We are not getting skipped this time around, and it's from one of a just special love that I have developers in Vanillaware. Matt, what did you think of what you saw? Unicorn Overlord, Tactics RPG.
It reminded me somewhat of Final Fantasy Tactics, right? Which is one of my favorite games of all time. And it had its own definite flair to it.
Yes.
I just mentioned earlier, I like, Ogre Tactics, right? On
yes.
So this is like a new take, a new game in that genre. And I love it. Fantasy Tactics. That's what they called it. The next game, Fantasy Tactics. Like, all in on this, dude.
Yes.
And it's coming in March. It's not that far away. Brand new game. Had no idea. Unlike Triangle Strategy and these other games that always get announced, and it's only on Switch or only on this, like Ogre Tactics was PlayStation and PC only or whatever. I don't remember. Everything was like we're finally getting the games everywhere that are announced from Atlus. Also, this is not this is we're getting like 3 new Atlus games in the next few months now. Like we're getting the 2 different Personas plus also now this. Awesome. Yes.
Correct.
Let's go.
This will be some people's first Vanillaware game. And let me tell you, you guys are in for a treat if you jump into this just from the animation style. It has been duplicated. It has been copied. Some people have done very well in this style. There's been a lot of great games. But a Vanillaware game is special when it comes to the animation. I saw the battle animations that they have. Mav, my God. I was almost had tears in my eyes because I was like, this is so damn beautiful. I wish they would re-release Dragon's Crown up to date on current gen, because a lot of people never played that game. It was a hidden gem for a long time. Put Vanillaware on the map. I know some people played like Sentinels 13, which has come out, which is a different style game. Also very gorgeous, but not per se something that I wanted to die over to get into. This game right here is so up my alley, so up both you and I's alley, that I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, yes, yes, and more yes. Cultivate an army with over 60 distinct characters and grow your renown throughout the 5 nations in this epic fantasy experience. Tactics fans, take note, mark it down. It is coming March 8th, 2024. You will want to have this game in your library. Guarantee it. Vanillaware, don't miss. Atlas, don't miss, in my opinion. Unicorn Overlords. Oh, can't wait, man. I was so excited when they said Xbox. I was like, thank you. Oh, thank you. So good. Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. Speaking of another great game that I can't wait for. That got delayed. They showed it off again. And they are now targeting April 2024. Shout out to C Unit, Chris Jones, who is a huge fan of Ayuden Chronicles. And he's been posting nonstop articles over on the lordsofgaming.net, of course. Shout out to Lords of Gaming about this game. But they finally did give us a new window, April, or actually a new date, I should say, not even a window, April 23rd, 2024 for Ayuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. Can't wait for this one. Mav, 2024 is lining up to be stupendous. I mean, we can already see the first half of 2024 being much like this year. A lot of special games, big and small, already lining up. It's going to be crazy next year. We thought this year was crazy, and this year is going to go down as one of the GOATs. Next year, I don't know if it's going to have that GOAT quality to it. We'll find out as we see more games. But just in terms of quantity and quality coming out next year, it's already lining up to be a lot like this year. I can't wait, man. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. It is. I mean, nuts.
It's going to be nuts. WarioWare Move It gets a new trailer. Shout out to WarioWare. Shout out to Jeff Grubb, one of his favorite all-time games, WarioWare. I've played around with WarioWare back in the day. The ex-wife actually enjoyed it. WarioWare is funny. That gets a new trailer ahead of its November release date. And then they showed off they're building a new Nintendo Gallery Museum. And they showed off some schematics and some cool pictures of a Nintendo museum, Mav.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Cool. It's in Japan.
No
right?
Switch 2. So. No Switch 2, but yeah, it's in Japan. So
when are we going to get the announcement? Do you think at the Game Awards?
No, Nintendo does it on their own thing. I don't think they would give it to Keighley. I think they'll do their own special direct, make a big deal out of it. Early next year, I think, and then it'll drop summer of next year.
Sometime in like January, February.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think they'll have a big blowout to start off 2024 with the Switch 2 and all. They'll have their roadmap lined up again. Nintendo don't miss with the roadmaps.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to say about Nintendo, they're always ready. They will have games ready for that Switch 2 launch. So that's what I'm thinking.
I wonder what they'll have for launch.
I'm still thinking Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
New Metroid Prime.
Been holding that off.
Tears of the Kingdom update. For sure. May even have a new Mario 3D ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be gigantic, Mav. Again, they just do it right. It's going to be gigantic. The big thing for me is whether or not it's backwards compatible. So if they bring it up to date, more up to date, again, I'm not saying they're going to be competing with Series X or PlayStation 5, but if the word is that they are leaning into NVIDIA, that it's got the DLSS, that they showed off the Matrix demo running on it. Now, again, how well it was running, we don't know. The fact that they could even power the Matrix demo tells me something. And they can provide some games that I'm interested in, again, which Zelda doesn't count, Mario doesn't count. Don't care about those. Metroid Prime, I might have interest in. But if it's backwards compatible and they give me a lineup of some games that I am excited about, they could be on the track. If they show me that it docks to a modern day 4K television and looks good, Nintendo could get me back because I want to go back and play like Fire Emblem. I want to go back and play Xenoblade Chronicles, etc. They could get me back with this one, Mav, if what they're speaking is true. I could see it happening because more third parties are going to be going on there if they've got the power up to date. I don't know. Are you liking what you're hearing? Are you still really in the wait and see? Hey,
I love Nintendo games, right?
Yeah, I
And
don't. So besides a
yeah,
few.
I do. I like simplicity, fun, casual experience. Like for me,
Yeah.
it's like something to stress free gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
when I have always used Nintendo's like, okay, I don't want to play something that's like I'm shooting shit or like I'm doing this or that. It's just kind of like wind down, relax, just play some kind of fun or whatever. And this generation and I was talking to this about with Boxenberger earlier today. This generation for me kind of felt like a transitional period for Nintendo. They've went away from the dual device Nintendo they've been ever since Game Boy Nintendo, right?
Yep.
They've had always the console life and they've had the handheld life. They've had different games for both, right? And then this generation, they were like, okay, we're melding it. For me, as a console gamer, less of a handheld gamer, it felt like it was better for the handheld gamers than it was for the console gamers, right?
Correct. Yes.
This generation, just because of where the technology was for the device that they put out, right? And it's ruined my experience with gaming on Nintendo console, right? This generation. And I appreciate the great games that they have, but when I blow the game up on my TV in the dock and I can barely read the text because it's blurry or whatever, it's not a good experience. And I get frustrated. And I've never expected them to have PlayStation type games or Xbox type
Right.
games, right? I've
Right.
just always expected them to kind of like get with it at least somewhat to the point of the games are displayed well, right? And that was for me the lacking here. Um, I think this because where tech has gone the last several years, and I feel like the new device will be that better device for TVs, right? And if this would have been if we're getting that device and it would have been what we got with the original Switch, I'd probably be completely happy, right?
Yeah.
But right now it's not still, and I'm just finding myself only really able to enjoy the simplest kind of games on there and less of their bigger games, right? So I'm excited to where I can enjoy more of the bigger games again for Nintendo,
Yep.
right? So, and I've
Agreed.
missed some gems. I bought several of them because I really had the FOMO and I wanted to enjoy it. It's just always the device took my enjoyment away for a console gamer, right?
Yep.
So, this next one, I think it'll be better for the console player.
Yeah, I think so too. From everything we're hearing, and again, if they're leaning into the NVIDIA and they're going to use the LSS, and it's going to be a powerful enough chipset that it can even upscaled run things properly on a big screen from the dock, that's all I need to hear because I'm not a handheld gamer anymore. Would I take it with me if I own one?
Yeah.
Sure. Of course, there'd be times where I probably would use it, but for the most part, I'd have it docked. And so I just need to see that it does that. And it's got to be backwards compatible. I'm not convinced that
Yeah.
they're going to do it. Nintendo being Nintendo, the fans put up with even more than Sony fans put up with. I'm not locked in that they're going to do backwards compatible. I would love to see it. It's a smart move. It would definitely increase the value proposition out the gate for me. Again, of the few games that I do want to go play of that they have over there that's nowhere else. I got to see that. But again, just the dock mode's got to be there for me. It's got to show that it can handle 4K big screen TV and not show like you've talked about, Mav, it being completely blurry mess. I just can't have that. So I'd be interested. So Nintendo's got a chance here, Mav, and I'm liking what I'm hearing so far. So 100%. Mav, we got about 20 minutes here before I got to dip out. We got a bunch of smaller topics. I didn't throw it in the DMs, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this because you and I always like to try to stay ahead of the curve here on PM the PM. And we like to talk about things that other people aren't necessarily up to date on or speaking out about yet, but things that we may see coming up in the future. I think that Apple's move this week, and I'm not an Apple fan, I'm a Droid fan, but Apple's move this week indicates they're moving into the game scene now. We've talked about this for a long time. Obviously, we know that their mobile store makes more money than Sony, makes more money than Xbox. Like it's ridiculous. Like that's why Xbox has said with this ABK acquisition that it's about the mobile side of things more so than anything else, because they're going to war with Apple and Google in the mobile side. But their new iPhones this week, Mav.
Yeah.
They announced that their top model, I forget what it is it the 15 now? Is it the 15?
Yeah, I
I
think
think it's the
15.
iPhone 15.
Yeah.
I think it's 15. Their top model is going to be able to play games like Resident Evil 4 remake natively.
Yeah.
That their games are going, they've got ray tracing on their mobile game, in their phones now. This indicates to me, and that's already a big statement to say. Like I'm like already like when they said, yeah, we've got hardware based ray tracing in our phones. I was like, what? Really?
Yeah.
I think they are moving because it's only a matter of time before their Apple TVs have the same capability. They're not going to make a console, Mav. They're just going to expand and make it native on all their devices. And these third-party publishers, they don't need first-party per se. I think they could still move into that space and they might eventually start acquiring. But I think this is the first sign that they're getting serious about gaming, and third parties are not going to pass up on the chance to put their games on any Apple device that is capable like this to run these things natively. Again, we're not talking about all games. There's a handful of select games that are coming out. But the fact that Resident Evil 4 Remake can run on this thing natively, bro, that tells me that they're serious about this. What do you think about that?
Yeah, it's interesting, and this is always going to be probably somewhat the future. As these handhelds got more and more, our phones and mobile devices get more and more powerful, right? Kids and teenagers, 20-somethings even now, a lot of them grew up playing on tablets and phones, right?
Yeah.
Very different than me and you, right? Like I didn't have a phone till I was 18 years old, and back then it was like it had a little screen on it that you could put numbers on, and that was it, but these kids now and stuff, like they don't care necessarily to have a controller in their hand. They're used to playing on touchscreen controls, or used to playing all these different things. So that's one aspect of it, because those gamers, which they are gamers, right? They're growing up and they're accustomed to a different childhood than we were, where we had a controller in our hands and we had a TV screen and all this stuff. Like a lot of kids don't need that now. They just got their device and they just play, and they're happy, And as gaming gets more, as technology, all these devices get more powerful, the gaming experiences are going to be more possible for them when they grow up and be able to get better, different experiences and stuff. So you already have billions of people own mobile devices, right? So you have that, being able to have people access those games through those mobile devices, and people getting more and more used to using them for gaming, like is interesting. Like the question is like more for the enthusiast, right? How is they going to transition to like Resident Evil 4, like when they have that playing on your screen, TV screen, right? And you're using not a phone for controls, you're using like controller, stuff like that. That's where like it really opens up more for them, I think. And I think there's a lot of things they're probably doing and working on behind the scenes for that stuff right now. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with them. But like they already have so many users, man. It's like once they get the people that have the libraries, right? Which most of people's library for mobile devices now, I would say, are mostly casual game experiences and stuff like that. And there are stuff like Call of Duty Mobile, and a lot of those things are really taking off. But like the average consumer, the billions, or it's more or less like Candy Crushes and stuff like that, right? And I feel like people aren't as attached to those kinds of experiences, right? You're not attached to your free-to-play game library, right? But as they get more people invested into buying these games and buying games that are more powerful and native, you're getting people attached to the ecosystem, and they can then have the ecosystem go more different places, kind of like what Xbox is trying to do now, except there's billions of the devices out there, as opposed to Xbox is trying to stream games to those billions of devices, right?
Yep.
For Apple to doing it natively is an advantage there.
Yes.
You know?
100%.
So for Xbox, I would be looking at it and be like, well, we really got to figure this out, right? For Microsoft, for PlayStation, for everybody, because the Apples and the Googles of the world that have, everybody's got one of these, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you probably have an Apple or an Android, right?
Correct.
And it's powered by Google and Apple. So at the end of the day, those two companies, based on the amount of devices that we have more power than other people with influencing decisions and buying decisions over everything. That's why Apple and Google make more money in gaming than other companies do, even without making their own games.
Yep.
So
absolutely. And I think it's an important part. And Calorie, yeah, you're right. Hargeet was calling this out, and I wasn't laughing at him because, you know, Hargeet specifically talked about, you know, how the hardware on phones was getting ridiculous and continue to get ridiculous. And I didn't laugh at him because we've been talking about it here, man. We believed Xbox when they said that the mobile side of things was the most important part of the ABK deal. We were, you know, one of the shows out there going, yeah, you guys all can pass it off and say it's all about Call of Duty. We said from the beginning it wasn't about Call of Duty.
Yeah,
absolutely not. It was about the mobile side, and it was about, you know, obviously the PC side with Blizzard, but it was the mobile side. We believed them because we saw this war coming. And Dion, you're right. A lot of this stuff will show up on Android too. It's just that we've seen Google enter the gaming market and then exit. Now, they're still always going to be a part of the mobile side of things because obviously their mobile store makes them a cajillion dollars too. Why I brought this up specifically with Apple this week is because I think Apple, to come out and put on the display that they did and to talk about like a thing, what we know is kind of, whether you like it or not, doesn't matter at the end of the day. Ray tracing is a big word for people these days, right? And we found out how, you know, obviously, you know, how taxing it is on current gen consoles, Series X and PlayStation 5, what it means even on PC world, right? Because we see that AMD doesn't do ray tracing as well as NVIDIA. So the fact that Apple came out and made this statement and announced these games like Resident Evil 4, like Assassin's Creed Mirage playing natively, I think signals yet again that they are moving. Apple does things very deliberately. They don't just jump in. Google just jumps in, tries things out, and then backs out. Apple does things deliberately. They've been moving in this way. We've been talking about Apple joining the fray for a while. You know, there's some people out there, shout out to Fuzzy, who even think that Apple may purchase PlayStation or Sony as a whole, or attempt to. Again, regulation being what it is nowadays, that would be a fight and a half. But the fact is, we believe that Apple's been moving into this space more and more. I thought this week, this big Apple thing that they had with the iPhone 15 Pro, thank you, Ducato, for making that clarification, was a big statement from Apple that they are getting serious about gaming. And that, like I said, I see them with their Apple TVs and all that kind of stuff. If they've got the chips to run these games natively now, and they've got things like hardware-based ray tracing working in a mobile form factor, they're going to obviously introduce that to the other product lines that they own. They don't need to build a console, right? They can just do this. And I think once Apple jumps into the fray, if they decide to start acquiring things, that's when you're talking about $1 trillion company versus $1 trillion company. Apple, Microsoft, two of the biggest companies in the entire world, fighting it out in the gaming space is something that we all seen coming. Xbox and Microsoft obviously saw it. That's why they're going to go make their own mobile store once this ABK deal is through. So I just think it was interesting. I just thought again, I'm not an Apple fan. I don't pay attention to Apple stuff. I could care less most of the time.
Yeah.
Shout out to them for finally moving to USB-C, by the way. But the fact is, when I heard this, my ears perked up and I was like, oh, I see you. I see you, Tim. Okay. I see what you're doing over here. I just think this is a big sign that they could be starting to really think about the gaming space.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I think it's to compete with a lot of those handheld devices out there.
Yes,
too.
that too.
Right.
They see the mobile PC market booming as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like
100%.
if you get your backbone or whatever for your Apple phone, you automatically have a device that's capable of playing native games, right? Like that are hardcore games. So I'm curious how many games there will be though. Like that. I think it'll be dependent on how successful it is.
Correct.
So
agreed.
It's just gonna take. I think it's gonna take an adjustment period for developers to really start making those kind of games for Apple devices.
Yep. But like I said, they're certainly going to look at any way possible to get their games on an Apple device, obviously.
Yeah.
Because they understand that's the power of Apple, right? So all right, man. What else do you want to jump into? You got any of these other topics you want to jump into?
Quick thoughts on Gearbox.
Oh, being sold off. Potentially. Embracer Group naming or sources naming Gearbox as one of the potential sales. It makes sense. Gearbox is now looking into some private funding to try to go indie again, to go to independent again. It makes sense. I thought they might keep Gearbox for the publishing side of things because Gearbox does have a lot of successful. Nobody thinks of Gearbox and they don't think of publishing, but they do have a lot of successful publishing contracts out there that do make a lot of money. That's part of the reason why Embracer paid 1.4 billion for Gearbox. So I thought maybe they would keep them around, but it doesn't shock me. But again, you got to find. I saw a lot of people jumping on Xbox. Got to get this ABK deal and get Gearbox. Everybody forgets Gearbox offered themselves up to Xbox when they first thought about selling before they went to Embracer Group. And Xbox, the story goes, Xbox said, sure, but no Randy. And Randy Pitchford, who created Gearbox, everybody knows Randy. Yeah, everybody knows Randy said, I'm not going anywhere. And Xbox was like, no, thank you. So I don't think Xbox is going to be interested unless this means Randy goes away. Randy ain't going away. Randy needs his Coke and Randy needs his Gearbox. Okay. That's his baby. He's not going anywhere. So they're going to have to find an interested party in Gearbox. I don't know if Sony would be. I'm assuming Tencent might be interested in investing into Gearbox for sure. But it doesn't shock me. It surprised me a little bit, but doesn't shock me. Gearbox has value for sure.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Absolutely. So anything else? The whole Unity thing. Shout out to all the developers. I'll say this real quick about Unity. It's an absolute shame. The CEO's past history with EA and the remarks that he's had. This isn't shocking again to me that he's tried to pull this move with Unity. For anybody who doesn't know, Unity updated with new terms going forward, saying they were going to charge developers. And remember, Unity is used by a lot of indie devs. They were going to start charging after January 2024. After you reach a certain threshold, you were going to get charged per download. They were trying to say that they were going to charge services like Game Pass for every download. Like, they went way out of bounds. And a lot of people believe this was a plan to go way out of bounds and then bring it back, right? Go extreme and then bring it back, and it'd still be bad, but have everybody go, oh, well, they pulled it back a little bit. Whatever the deal is, they screwed up. Shout out to all the devs who have come out in unison and are saying, we'll just stop our games. We'll just delist our games. You're not getting money from us. I even saw In Exile make a post this week saying, they made it one of their joke posts saying, hi, we're here to collect on that game that you published 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Don't think so. So this is a big mistake, Mav. Huge mistake on Unity's part. They had a lot of goodwill. A lot of people loved Unity. It was one of the biggest engines out there alongside Unreal Engine 5 for indie devs, for smaller devs to get started because they had very favorable terms that unless your game made it very big, you could make a living as an indie developer. This was going to basically shut that down. So all these devs and a lot of the community too are like, yeah, no, Unity, you fucked up here. You fucked up big time. You guys better change this immediately. Now they've tried to walk it back. They walked it back. People were like, yeah, no bullshit. You're still using terms that could mean a lot of different things. Then they were supposed to have some kind of meeting, Mav. And I don't know if you heard about this. Mm-hmm. They were supposed to have kind of meeting And I'm not promoting this at all, by the way, but they got some very legitimate, credible threats against when they were going to hold this. So they actually had to shut that down as well. But that's the kind of rage that Unity has brought onto themselves with this announcement. Pretty awful news for the gaming industry in general.
It was. And I saw a lot of the conversation about it. They tried to release like this is how, let's explain better how it works, right on Twitter or whatever. And it's like, okay, this isn't really helping you at all, right?
No.
They need to do a U-turn on it 100%. Just go back to status quo, what the traditional method is, and then maybe you can tweak things from there, right, if you need to financially. But this was a huge misstep. So
huge, giant misstep. And again, the CEO, go look up his history and the things that he said while he was at EA, and you'll understand where this is all coming from.
Yeah,
this guy was like legit promoting. Just go look up what he's saying. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff. Yeah, Depka in the chat said he's a Unity developer and he'll probably switch platforms. Yeah, I've seen so much of that. Big and small Cult of the Lamb devs came out and said, "No, we'll just delist our game. You ain't getting a dime."
Yeah.
Slay the Spire devs came out. They're working on their brand new IP. They've been in development for years on their brand new IP. I love Slay the Spire, by the way. Come out with their brand new IP. They said, now we'll even though we're close, we'll just stop and we'll just switch engines, whatever it takes. We will move off of Unity for this new IP. Big time statements from some big time devs out there. So definitely a big misstep.
For holding
have to in these moments. Yeah, absolutely. Got to hold them accountable, and you got to say, nope, this is not going to work. Anybody that was still playing Wild Hearts.
Ooh, yeah.
Again, that Monster Hunter game that EA published.
Anthemed it.
This is kind of sad. Steele actually liked what he played in Wild Hearts. He thought he had a lot of potential. Obviously, nowadays, Mav, we've talked about this. It's risky out here, man.
Yeah.
You got to grab people in the beginning because there's not as much forgiveness as there was back in the day because so many people have so many other things to go play. Wild Hearts obviously was not a success, and EA shutting down support for Wild Hearts 7 months after the game's launch. Ouch.
Yeah. IGN thought it was better than Starfield. I'm just saying. Just saying.
No, another sad story too coming out past day. Immortals of Avium, a game that I still want to go play. That's on my list. I definitely want to go play it. I've seen a couple people have a lot of good time with Immortals of Avium. Look great. Unreal Engine 5, pushing the boundaries graphics wise, all that good stuff. I mean, again, I like the story behind it. I like the lore that I was hearing. Immortals of Avium Studio laid off nearly half of its staff just weeks after the launch of that game. The studio employed about 80 to 100 people, and about 40 were laid off. So again, high risk, Mav. You can't, if you're going to go big, and this was a studio that went big for their first game, like Immortals of Avium was really pushing the boundary with Unreal Engine 5. They were one of the few developers using every single tool in the toolbox for Unreal Engine 5. And obviously, performance-wise, it took a hit, especially on consoles. But I thought they had a chance to fix it. And like I said, I did see some people playing it that actually said it was a really cool game. Yeah. But that obviously hurt them. And they launched it around games like Starfield.
Yeah. And they're like $70, right? Like, so
yeah. Full price game, big first time out. Again, I hate to hear that.
I'm familiar with the developer, all these kind of things. So it's hard to get a lot of excitement,
It is.
Also, another game that IGN thought was better than Starfield.
Correct.
I keep actually.
I know
my news thing keeps actually popping up on the side of my screen. I'm like, I don't even know how that's happening. But anyway, the little Windows news ticker thing they have.
Yeah, it
keeps popping up on the side of my screen. And I keep seeing the gray alien from Mexico show up in the bottom corner.
Oh my god, the aliens. yes the paper mache aliens or whatever they are. Interesting times. We went from aliens are real and the government's all covering it up, to now they're showing off aliens and talking about UFOs, and everybody's like, yeah, the government's fake. There's no aliens.
That's great.
As a conspiracy theorist, I love this stuff. As somebody who does believe in aliens, I love this stuff. I still question everything I see nowadays because you have to. You absolutely have to. And you got to wonder why the sudden flip-flop. You always have to question where we go from shooting people who try to enter Area 51 and claiming that that doesn't even exist, even though we've seen pictures of it, to now, oh yeah, there's UFOs. We got all this video on them.
Yeah.
You always got to ask why. There's always a reason. The government doesn't just do things just because. So again, even the Mexican government coming out and displaying openly alien bodies that they supposedly found, I got to go, why after all this time? What was the change? So anyways, that's a whole different
Jasper
podcast.
said that NASA had a UFO stream today.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. NASA, the ones who denied everything that's ever been seen through their live feeds, even when they cut the live feeds during shuttles and stuff. Yeah. Now we're just cool with it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Why? Anyways, last thing too, before we get, I love Starfield too, bro. I love Starfield, and I love Starfield even though it doesn't have aliens in it. I would like to see beautiful alien women, but I don't care. It's fine even without the aliens concept. I love what I'm playing in Starfield.
It's so good. I love Starfield.
Last thing, they finally fixed Jedi Survivor, at least mostly, Mav.
Yeah.
3 months, a game that was forgiven for very, very poor performance. Not something I experienced personally because I'll wait for EA Play. But for Mav, for everybody who jumped into Jedi Survivor, all we heard about was, yeah, but it's so good.
Yeah, but
9, 10.
Right.
It's man, the performance mode sucks, and it's choppy, and there's a lot of bugs, and there's all this going. Yeah, but everything else about the game is so great. 9 out of 10. It's one of those games. But to their credit, Respawn did finally release a patch which fixed a lot. Digital Foundry did a whole video on it. There's still some issues, especially on PlayStation 5. There's still some issues. But for the most part, it's playing very well at 60 frames now. Fixed a lot of the issues that were there. So shout out to Respawn for fixing their game 3 months later. Again, that's normal nowadays. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't approve of it. I don't think it's okay. But I still got to say Respawn did it, and they fixed the game. So there we go, right?
Yep.
And
I'll give it another go. Probably. I bought it because I got FOMO. Everybody said it was so great, But
and speaking of Jedi Survivor, before we get out of here, Mav, real quick too, big person leaving that studio. Actually, really surprising and shocking news because we know they're making a third one. They're going to finish the trilogy, but this is a big loss for Zampella and that team. And I want to see who gave this guy the money because he didn't leave this kind of success without being shown something. The director, Stig Asmussen, left Respawn and EA after Survivor. So he is now officially out there. No word yet where he's landing. But I'm telling you, unless it's for personal reasons, unless he had something major family-wise or whatever the case may be, which does happen. Again, these people are all human beings. You don't leave after 2 wildly successful games from a team like Respawn, where you guys are basically the golden calves at EA. Like, you guys are given freedom to do what you want to do over there, unless somebody has shown you the money.
Right.
Very interesting to see where this guy lands. Obviously, huge talent. So,
yep. Or maybe do his own thing.
Or maybe he found the backers to open his own studio, and maybe that is the case as well, which we see a lot of. So, all right, everybody, this has been a fantastic return to PM in the PM. What a night. Mav and I did keep our Starfield talk down to just over an hour. Again, we could have talked all night about Starfield because why, Mav?
I love Starfield.
I love Starfield too. So please, everybody, thank you for coming back and seeing us tonight on this PM and the PM after a week off. We appreciate every single one of you. If you're listening in the future, the same goes for you. Love you all. Nothing but respect for everybody that came out here. The chat was crazy lit tonight. No, I did not read off the chat tonight. I will get back to that next week. I promise. Mav and I just had a lot to talk about tonight, so we didn't get to it. But that's a major part of us. But
we did have one more super chat.
You got a super chat? Grab it.
God Emperor Sofa King hit us with the $2 and said,
"Shout out to you."
LOL. What if Randy goes away?
If Randy goes away, then yes, because Xbox said they were interested at the time. They just didn't want Randy around.
Yeah,
it would be a great pickup.
They have an anti-porn and whores policy and cocaine policy at the office, right?
Hey, you said it. I'm cool with Randy. Randy's cool with me. I'd hang out and have a beer with Randy, and then I'd leave because I don't know what would happen after that. But I would have a beer with Randy. Randy's a cool dude in short spurts. I'm cool with Randy. But if there was a way to get Randy out of there, right? And Xbox could acquire Gearbox, of course. As a huge Borderlands fan, absolutely 1000%. I'd love to see Gearbox underneath Xbox umbrella.
I had posed
crazy
this theory or question to Box and Burger, right? What if Xbox, finalizes ABK, Bobby Kotick is ousted, right?
Him and Randy go form their own studio.
Randy
Can you imagine
leaves
that?
Gearbox, and then Gearbox is acquired by Xbox.
That's
Randy
fine.
and Bobby Kotick team up.
I can't believe you said this. I did not watch the show either.
They form Man Cave Studios.
Oh my God. Bro.
Where Wolf of Wall Street rules apply. Cocaine and women's galore.
They would be sued into the ground before they even thought of their first game.
No rules. Everything goes.
In this day and age,
you'll have cubicle crawls every day.
That would be the most. Oh my God. I can't imagine, bro.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. Who would they get to run their HR? There would be no HR. They'd be like the only company. They'd name themselves HR, wouldn't they?
It would just be like, hey, just hire some like fucking random guy and it's like, you're the HR department, bro. Just everything goes.
Blows and Hose Studio.
Blows and Hose. Yeah.
Blow and Hose. Oh my God. That's a crazy idea though, man. I would love to see it try to get off the ground. I would pay to see that. I would have somebody embedded writing the story from the beginning, because no matter what happened, whether they ever published a game or developed a game ever, the stories that you would have in the first few months of that project would be unbelievable.
Yeah. Jason Schreier buys the apartment across the street from the studio just so he can he's a spy the whole entire time and behind the curtains just eyeing
old school
it constantly.
Old school. Oh my God. Yeah, that's great. What did Box say, by the way?
He was laughing.
Was he laughing?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
He said, "Can I apply?"
Yeah.
He said, I'm moving to America. Or how do you do a German accent?
Oh my God. Don't start with your accents. Talk about offending people. All right. Listen, everybody. It's been a great show. Great PM of the PM. We had a lot of laughs tonight too. Again, Trombone Champion coming to a live stream near Mav sometime in the future. Everybody get ready. It is Trombone Champion or Champ? Trombone Champ?
Trombone.
I gotta look it up. Real quick so I get this right, because I don't. Trombone Champ. So be on the lookout for that. You may see Mav doing this or whatever he's gonna do on stream to imitate a trombone. This is gonna be classic, folks. Anyways, great conversation tonight. We talked a lot of Nintendo, talked a lot of PlayStation, obviously a lot of Starfield, and we got to the smaller news stories as well. Listen, y'all, thank you all for being here yet again. Let's get out of here. Mav, we are back to normal schedule this week, which means, I think, Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night. Is that correct, sir? What else you got coming up here?
Xbox Ultimate tomorrow night. We will have
what got into you?
A great time at 10 p.m. Eastern time.
When did you oh, never mind. Just keep going.
Tune in tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern time. Xbox Ultimate Podcast. My throat's gurgling as I'm trying to do this.
Oxenberger, I'm not a part of this. I'm sorry, brother. I'm not a part of this. This is all Mav.
Mondays, FSP at 10
Gets
p.m.
worse.
Eastern time, and Tuesdays Fun Pop at 10 p.m. Eastern, and then back here Thursdays on PM in the PM, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Have a good day. Is that
Are you done?
yeah, I think so.
Again, was never condoned by me. I have no part of this. Whatever Mav does is on his own. I'm not a part of this. If PM and the PM gets canceled, you guys can find me elsewhere. Don't worry. Listen, everybody. Great show, great night. Great to be back here with my brother again. I've heard things and talked about things tonight that I had no idea I was going to, which is always a great show. You guys can find me, Xbox and X, formerly known as Twitter, Pong Soul. You know the drill there. Obviously, I'm posting a ton of Starfield stuff. Whenever I get an opportunity to, I'm posting screenshots and videos. You can see my latest ship update to the Royal Fortune, now to my pirate warship. You can see that. I posted that today. Otherwise, tomorrow night, I should be on Xbox Ultimate, as Mav said, without the terrible accent, whatever he was trying to do. 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time, where the fam gets together. We never know how many people are going to be there, but we do know we are going to have a ton of laughs, ton of good conversation with different perspectives from the rest of the family as well. So be there tomorrow night right here on the Fun Speculation Network. And then, of course, Saturday morning, it is Living Split Screen, my brother from another, Steel, Rain, and I, 3+ hours. Buckle up, get ready. Big opinions coming your way. We're going to have a lot to talk about on Saturday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. Mission 3K, Mission 3 billion. The mission continues. So please tell a friend, bring a friend, and be there Saturday morning. Living Split Screen is the channel. And then, of course, Saturday night, the Shop Podcast, PTK Blam. Fuzzy Belvedere, myself. I don't know if he's announced guest this week or not. Doesn't matter. It's the best way to end your Saturday night with a lot of good game talk while you're playing Starfield or whatever else you may be playing. That's right. PTK Blam's channel, the Shop Podcast, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 o'clock Central Time. Be there for that. And then, of course, next week, it starts all over again. Always show up to Xbox Factor Podcast, Double Barrel Gaming, Mr. Boomstick, 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 o'clock Central Time, every Tuesday. All good things green. You guys know the drill by now. I'm not there anymore because of work in real life, but a lot of great people are on that panel. So join him there. And Boom does so much for this community. I will continue to shout him out. And shout out to Boom with the new PC. No, he did not go PCMR, but he did get a new PC as his PC shit the bed last week, live on air. So anyways, shout out to Boom. Love him. Go check him out on Tuesdays. And then back here for next Thursday, PM in the PM. God willing, I will be here. Mav will be too, hopefully without the accent. 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 o'clock Central Time, PM in the PM every Thursday. Anyways, hey, everybody, it's a golden age of gaming. It really, really is. This year, next year are lining up to be two of the best all time. We have so much, and I'm just playing Starfield. I don't care. But listen, get out there, play what you love what you play. Share those screenshots, share those videos out there. Fight the negativity, do it the right way, because there's a lot of greatness and happiness and celebration to do right now. Anyways, you guys have a great rest of your Friday, or a great start to your Friday, I should say. Great start to your weekend. I'm going to talk to you all real soon. Mav, get us out of here, brother.
Into the Starfield. Bye.
Yeah, I'm done.